all honor and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash. We'd like to give double honors to our elders and apostles at Great Millstone that do group well. Peace and salutations to the Lord's elect, the hopeful elect in the 1/3. And Lord's with us will be added to the sincere sheep of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Baha, Rakakodash. All right, we are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and those scattered abroad according to the diaspora. And we're commanded to come out on the highways and byways, in season and out of season, to prophesy the downfall of what you know as America, which is prophesied in the Bible as the virgin daughter of Babylon, all through the spirit and power of Ba'ashem Shai, you know? And you got a lot of things going on in the earth. You got a lot of, matter of fact, let's start with Daniel. Wisdom shall be increased. If you notice, there's a spirit in the air where wisdom is being increased, all right, on the inhabitants and the people, all right, i.e. starting with the Hebrew Israelites, and out of that, the prophets, okay? You have average American citizens that are waking up to the draconian, tyrannical system, what they call the land of the free, which it's not free, all right? Because you claim you can so-called have the right to remain silent, but they can use it against you in a court of law. So people are starting to wake up to what the prophets have been saying, or what has been written in the Bible oh so long ago. You got that, brother? Yeah, let's start with that.
This is Daniel 12:4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the books, even to the time of the end.
Yep, so, we got to speak on that. A lot of people don't know that this book, all right, it was and is sealed, all right, but through Yahweh Shai, all right, he unloosed it for who? The Israelites, all right, the teachers, the prophets, the pastors. That's what we are. We're teachers, we're prophets, we're evangelists, and we're pastors, man, you know, because your whole life, you've always known Pastor Mike, you know, Pastor John. Shit, the closest Jake knows Pastor Troy, you know, but now the Lord is raising up, all right, according to his flock, Jeremiah 3:15, right, according to mine, you see, which is beautiful, man, because with knowledge being increased, your Christian pastor no longer has the floor, man, okay? The pulpit preacher, all right, is becoming non-existent in his power when it comes to the scriptures. Read that again, brother.
This is Daniel 12:4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end.
Yep.
Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased.
Many shall run to and fro. Where do we run to and fro on? Are you done with that? Matthew 24:14. We ran to and fro on the internet. Okay. Psalms 19. You know, just to quote it. But the gospel being preached, we got woken up. Our ears got turned on. Our eyes, the light switch came on. So Tawadi Yahweh Shai for allowing us to perceive, hear, and understand what's going on, because a lot of people don't. You see. But knowledge has been increased in so much that the children of Israel have remembered themselves in captivity, man. That's high level, okay? Let's read that real quick.
Matthew 24:14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world.
The gospel of this kingdom shall be preached in all the world. Key word, this gospel, right? So you have to understand that there's, I believe, one of the books of the Gospels, it says one faith. It might be Ephesians. Yeah, one faith, one sound, one gospel. Okay? This is the good news. And an evangelist is one who derives on bringing out the gospel. So you have certain brothers who just love talking about the gospel, you know, how this is for you. That's an evangelist. All right? You got some brothers that are more in a shepherd manner, you know, big brother spirit. That's a pastor. Then you got other brothers that are prophetic. And some brothers that just teach or all have a piece of it all around. Because that's the spirit, man. Because this gospel is being preached. So now we caught wind of it. You know, just like when Yahweh Shai told his disciples, cast the net on thy right side. And then that net, it was so heavy they couldn't even lift it, you know. Because that's us. We're a part of that fish. Fishers of men, we're that fish. Got caught, now the sheep being built up to be shepherds, you know.
Matthew 24:14, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world,
yep,
for a witness unto all nations,
yep,
and then shall the end come.
Yep, it said this gospel shall be preached in all the world, because when the gospel was first being preached, it was over here in the Middle East, okay? And then through curses, all right, Gad, the northern kingdom coming, all right, through the Horn of Africa, escaping Assyrian captivity, they came over to the Western Hemisphere, right? And then Yahushua said, I have sheep that are not of this fold, okay? And then through 70 AD, with that prophecy, we became over here, so the gospel had to come through the whole world. And now we woke back up on the Western Hemisphere, i.e. why the 12 tribes chart is based on the Western Hemisphere, because this will befall you in the last days. Then, with that preaching, the gospel spread back to the Middle East, see? So the gospel, through the Spirit of the Lord, has circumvented the earth, man, okay? How powerful is that? Yeah.
This is Acts 1 and 6. When they therefore will come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom of Israel? And he said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons.
Now, real quick before you finish that, brother, that statement alone cuts what you call Christianity today. A Christian will read over that, and it's our job in the Spirit to bring that precious material out. The mere fact that the disciples were asking our Lord and Savior, Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, they said, will you restore the kingdom back? It said back, right? Back to Israel. So right in the New Testament, you have the disciples telling you, are they asking Yahushua, is he bringing back the kingdom for Israel? You know, keep going.
And he said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father had put in his own power. But you shall receive power. After that, the Holy Spirit is come upon you, and you shall be witnesses unto me, both in Jerusalem and in all Judea, and in Samaria.
Where else?
And unto the uttermost part of the earth.
The uttermost. Look, the biggest landmass is the Middle East. You got what the hell's over here? You got China. You know, I mean Asia Minor, Germany. You know, you look at all this big landmass. But Yahushua, he said, to the uttermost parts of the earth, here's the uttermost part, man. Okay? This is the uttermost part of the earth. So, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, Yahushua was already letting us know that in your next life, you're going to receive this power again. Okay? And that power is the Holy Spirit. That power is what he gave his disciples in Matthew 10. Okay? We are princes of the power. So now remembering ourselves, we remember our power. All right?
No,
that was it? All right, let's get into this.
St. Jeremiah 3 and verse 15. And I will give you pastors according to mine heart.
Pastors according to my heart, shepherds. All right? Because as knowledge is being increased, Israelites, the simple ones, are now starting to see that you got a lot of just black guys with Bibles teaching, man. Okay? Because we're bringing out full spiritual nutritional meal on a daily through the Spirit. So this is what the Lord has set up. The Lord has set up pastors according to his liking. Okay? Keep going.
And it says, we shall feed you.
Oh, well, just like David. When Samuel, what did he go to? Jesse? Was it Jesse and his sons? It was King David's son. Remember, he was bringing all his sons to him? Yeah, the son of Jesse. Remember, they were like, he brought all the sons, and they're like, surely one of these got to be the king. And he said, do you have any other sons? You see? Because that was according to the Lord's liking. King David was according to what the Lord wanted as a king. He gave you Saul because that's what you wanted. Some big, tall, so-called black brother. But the Lord was like, nah, that's not what I want. And he told him the judgment that will befall you for this king that you wanted. You know? Keep going.
And it says, we shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. Right, and guess what? That's what they do. The apostles and the elders, they fed us spiritually. Because why? Because those men are our spiritual fathers.
Feeding us.
Yeah.
They're feeding us. Let's get that. What's that in John? He said, feed my sheep. It said John 21 and 17, around there. Yep. Because we're being fed. We're all being fed. We're all eating here. Okay? Just like when Yahushua fed 5,000 with the small loaves of bread and the fish. That's what's happening now. That the same meal, okay, that looks like nothing is feeding thousands. So that one lesson that may seem like nothing is feeding thousands of Yahushai's sheep, man. Okay? And the Lord has put a spirit on us where we care about Yahushai's sheep. And that's what a shepherd would do. Okay?
St. John 21, I'm going to start at 15. So when they had dined, Yahushua said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these? He said unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He said unto him, Feed my lambs. He said to him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? He said unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He said unto him, Feed my sheep. He said unto him the third time.
Oh, what's said in Job? The Most High speaketh once, he speaketh twice in the deep sleep unto men.
Yep.
So isn't it 3 times? Mm-hmm. So Yahushua, you see me, you seen the Father. So just like how the Lord will speak, a few times, and you like, man, that's a spirit, I gotta take heed. So that was Yahushua, like, look, this is serious. Feed my sheep. Okay? So this is a very serious job, man. Okay? Keep going.
Verse 17, it says, He said unto him the third time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved because he said unto him the third time, Lovest thou me? And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things, thou knowest that I love thee. Yahushua said unto him, Feed my sheep.
Feed my sheep. So what are we supposed to feed you? Are we supposed to put a banner with our number at the bottom for you to dial and get some kosher beef ribs? Are we supposed to be giving you gravy recipes? No, we're supposed to feed you, Matthew 4:4. We're supposed to feed you with the word, okay? Because man shall not live by bread alone. Because you just living off bread alone is not going to help you in what's to come, okay? Because wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of your times. That's what we're warning you about. Get ready, all right? Get ready, okay? The deal's about to go down. That anxious anticipation spirit of major prophecies is about to come to head, man. Okay? Read that.
St. Matthew 4 and verse 4. But he answered and said.
And he answered and said this to Shaitan. All right? In this context, Yahushua is rebuking Satan with the scriptures. And that's another thing. Okay? We're feeding you through the spirit, watering and plant using the scriptures. So when you have a spiritual battle or you're going through something that can't be seen with the naked eye, all right, well, you've been fed with what you need to combat that. So this is why Yahushua said you got to feed him, man. You got the wiles of the devil, you got the trickery, deceit, cunning, craftiness, you got the lies, hypocrisies and propaganda out here. So make sure you feed my sheep with enough spiritual meal that my Father will increase them with a fortified mind. All right? Because when the deal goes down, what's prophesied in the good book, a lot of people ain't going to know what to do.
God bless you.
You as well, sis. People aren't going to know what to do when the prophecies in this book that people hold near and dear, they're not going to know what to do in that day. Okay? And saying 3 Hail Marys ain't going to get you nowhere.
Matthew 4 verse 4. But he answered and said, It is written, man shall not live by bread alone.
And where's it written? It's written in the book of Deuteronomy, okay? Where the Lord put us on a forced fast to show us that, hey, it ain't the carnal, it's me, So that's what we're learning now as well, remembering ourselves, is the spiritual servitude. Not just I got the fringes, I got the headband, I got give me the staff. Nope. It's the spiritual work that you're putting in, all right? What goes on up here? What's in your spirit? Where do you stand in the spirit with the Father? Why you think it said, love me with all thy heart in Exodus? What was the Lord talking about, man? In your spirit, because we're in the true hour. The Father is spirit, and he seeks such to worship him in truth and in spirit. All right, keep going.
And it says, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Most High.
Yep, we'll read it again one more time.
Yep. Matthew 4 verse 4. But he answered and said, It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Most High.
There you go. So we gotta what? Give you it raw, man. All right? Because if not, we could be adding or taking from the word. And if we add and take from the word, we're adding and taking from your plate. We're adding and taking from what you're supposed to be fed. You see? Now, you as a parent, imagine seeing someone that you tell to feed your child, here not feeding them what you told them to feed them. You will fire that person. Hey, I don't need you no more. You know? That's what you got to understand. There's a lot of wicked shepherds and false teachers out here that are feeding our people abominable things. And then on top of that, you got a lot of lost sheep of Israel that are still lost in the sauce because of these shepherds, man. You'll see something online that you're like, wow, that's off. Then you check the comment board and you got Jake siding with him, man. Let's get Proverbs 1. How long will you be simple still, man? You know? You got something, bro?
Yep. This is Jeremiah 3:14. Turn, O backsliding children, saith Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, for I am married unto you, and I will take you, one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion.
That's that small remnant. Not all Israel is going to be delivered on this side, man, by the miraculous prophecies of salvation. That's not going to bestow all of Israel. That's only going to be given to the first fruit. All right? The elect of the elect nation. You see? Keep going.
15. And I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding.
Yep. So, which is a spirit, we just read that. So what you got to understand is you as an Israelite, you out there learning, look back and say, what are they feeding me? Because you don't want to fall in a spirit of entertainment. Look. Let's watch them cut Esau again. Because then that shows you where your intellect at as a person. So really, you're no better than the one giving you the entertainment. You just a fanatic in the crowd. You just want to watch the newest wrestler beat up on a guy, you know, and you're in a crowd with a sign up that says Khan. You see? So the Lord, man, he's tightening the standard, man. You know, the standard of how we're supposed to carry ourselves as Israelites. We're not supposed to be carrying ourselves as a stereotypical black man, Puerto Rican, Latino, or Native American man. All right, because through Esau, he has created a image of a byword that now you fall into. Like that game at the fair, you drop the ball, or it's like on Price is Right. They drop the ball and it just kind of pegs until it drops right in the hole, and right at the bottom it says Negro.
Category. Accuser of thy brother.
Yep.
When you go into that word in Revelation, it means to categorize.
Yep, beautiful. See? So he's categorized us as a people, but then you have our people that don't have a spirit or mind to want to get out of that category. So now it's a nigga with fringes, you know, which is disgusting. So not only do we get on Esau, but we get on the wicked portions of our people. Because when you read Jeremiah, who was he getting on? When you read Ezekiel, who was he getting on? When you read Hosea, who was he talking about? You know? What prophet was it? No, it wasn't Hosea. I think it was Zechariah or Zephaniah. They had to get raised up to prophesy against Jake that when after they got freed by the Persians, they didn't want to build a temple. So the Lord had to raise up, I think, Zechariah to cuss your ass out, man. So don't talk about the temple and this and all that when your ass wasn't even trying to rebuild anyways. Not saying now we need to carnally rebuild the temple, but even in history, speaking on, the prophets had to get on the people. Yahushua was cutting wicked scribes and Pharisees. Paul, so on, Stephen, you know? So you got to understand the relationship when it comes to Israel and the truth was there was always a division, if you will, when it came to the standard of the gospel, because not all Israel has the mind to see the truth. That's why they rejected Yahushua, and that's why now the hopeful elect, the house of David, Lord's will, are being rejected on a major scale. When you look at the scenario in the Hebrew Israelite community, all right, look at the guys who are pushed on top, all right, that just like who? King Saul. He was the king over Israel. So the community of Israel in a whole likes these false prophets and teachers, all right? But guess what? While wicked Saul was being a wicked king, right underneath was righteous David, man, all right? That was hidden in caves, all right? The rocks of deliverance, you know? Always living by the right way, trying to, he didn't kill Saul. He could have killed Saul. He took his spear and his water, So that's us. While these guys, which we're not sitting here saying, hey, look at me, but in the spirit, we understand that we're bringing out, we understand through the spirit, we feel the Holy Spirit, man. So we're with the Holy Spirit, we're out here teaching and actually trying to bring out edification that's needful, okay? Without a wicked intent, all right? So just like David, only a small remnant cleaved to David. Gad cleaved to David, So certain tribes and certain Israelites cleaved to David. Like 400 or 600, they met him in the caves instead of being with Saul. Because you see now, it's wicked being with these certain jakes, man. These certain teachers,
Well, they're oppressing you.
Yeah.
They help forward your affliction.
Right, with Esau, man.
They don't give you rest.
Nope. Nope.
I got that right there.
Yep.
Yep. This is 1 Samuel 22:1. David therefore departed thence and escaped to the cave Adullam. And when his brethren and all his father's house heard it, they went down there to him, and everyone that was in distress, and everyone that was in debt, and everyone that was discontented.
Why were they in debt? They were in debt to Saul. Oh, when the kingdoms broke, was it the northern kingdom that killed the taskmaster or the debt collector?
Yep.
So was it Rehoboam or Jeroboam? They were sending tax collectors on their people, and remember they stoned him. So what you think Saul was doing? The Lord said he's going to make soldiers out of your sons, have your daughters in the kitchen, send you to war. He was jacking Israel up. So when you look at these guys today and you listen to their ideology and the way they break down scriptures and how they handle our people, I couldn't imagine them in rulership. But to a degree, they're in a standard of authority on our people. That's why it started with Elder Pastor Hart, and then the rest of the elder apostles, they said what? We got to clean up your mess. When Nate did a video and so on, we got to fix it. Because you're out here causing confusion, man.
And everyone that was in distress, and everyone that was in debt, and everyone that was discontented, gathered themselves unto him, and he became a captain over them, and there was with him about 400 men.
Very spiritual. See? So, ye that are troubled, rest with us. And that's the prophecy in Ezekiel that was also the vision given to Jeremiah, the 23rd chapter. All right? Because the Lord is starting to pull his sheep away from you wicked guys, man. The Lord is starting to pull his sheep out of the cuffs, all right, of these murderers, man. Okay? You got a lot of terrible Israelites amongst us, and you have a lot of our people that aren't aware of those prophecies or the characteristics that befall some of our people. This is the reality of the truth of our nation. Okay, we have also internal problems. While there's external issues round about us, okay, there was also internal issues. Don't you know that when the Lord gave Jeremiah a vision, when he brought it to the king, they ripped it up and threw it in the fireplace, then locked him, and then he had to write another one, then they locked him up. The prophet Micaiah got punched in the face for telling the king at the time the truth, So you have to understand the relationship that the prophets had to deal with when it came to the nation of Israel. They weren't always liked,
This is Jeremiah 23:1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, said Yahweh Hashem Yahushai.
Yeah, you have a lot of Jakes that will say IUIC ruined my life, GOCC, which ultimately, you weren't of the elect, because if you had a bad run-in with them, that shouldn't stop your belief in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, you see? But these guys put such a bad taste in your mouth that it actually makes Jake disown their heritage, man. Which is the prophecy where it said they'll pull the skin back off them,
Shut up the gate.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was thinking. They shut up the gate.
It says, therefore, thus said the Lord power of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people, ye have scattered my flock.
And you know what they feed you? They feed you a 5-hour meal about the baby and his fucking baby mother, Delia, whatever her name is. A 5-hour video on that issue. Are you kidding me? That's what you need to be fed with? Some fucking 4'11" gremlin nigga and what he did with some wicked Israelite woman? 5 hours, we need to talk to you about that? What even needs to be addressed about those situations? You see? The Spirit told me to talk about this, but as we speak, I just want to inch more and more towards prophecy, you know? But this is a part of prophecy. This is a part of prophecy in the end days where men will be lovers of themselves, disobedient to parents, blasphemers, hypocrites, and truth breakers. They're breaking truths with you, man. You know? And that's exactly what Esau did with Gad. So ye are of your father the devil. Don't you know in history, Gad brought out, he said, the first time I touched a goose quill, I didn't know that I was signing my village away. If I would have known that, I wouldn't have signed it. That's the type of spirit Esau comes in. And that's the spirit y'all are embodying, man. You know, getting over on our people according to a piece of paper.
It says,
if you will.
Ye have scattered my flock
Yep.
and driven them away
Yep.
and have not visited them.
And who else scattered us? Esau, man. Look at the correlation of wicked pastors, shepherds, all right, and the characteristics of Esau. You know, who was the wicked priest that went to the King Antiochus? Who was the wicked general that stormed in 70 A.D.? You know, who were the fucking wicked Jakes in the house, or told on Jakes that wanted to rise up, or the fucking wicked ass pastors with Esau sitting cross-legged, sipping tea and crumpets while he's got your ass preaching the slave Bible, man. Jake, wicked ass Jake, man. You know, get out of that black love spirit. I don't look at Michael Jordan as our people, you know, on a spiritual level, you know, because he's not. He's a Greek, you know.
Verse 3, and I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries whither I have driven them, and will bring them again to their foes, and they shall be fruitful and increase.
Oh, well, that makes me think about the Vikings. If you want to touch on that, brother, the Vikings, their whole conception was them from fleeing, right? During like the Greeks, if you will.
During the time of the Saxons, the Anglo-Saxons,
Yeah.
they fled from Norway to Norwegian down to England. But pretty much that was the Lord doing that to bring them back to their heritage. You know, because the Vikings were Israelites, man.
Yeah.
You know, the Vikings were Israelites. The Anglo-Saxons were all Israelites, man.
Yeah.
You know, and then what happened to those Vikings? They became Christian kings over Scotland, Greenland, and all those different lands during the Dark Ages. And the first people to come to America were the Vikings, man. All right, I believe about 800, 900 AD, thousands of years before Christopher Columbus, man.
Yep.
You see? And you had the Vikings intermingling with Gad.
Yep. Ain't that beautiful? And then, and really pretty much all nations that came over here had to speak with Gad because it was prophecy they would come to this land, you know? And we're actually, what's crazy is you just had what you know as Thanksgiving 2 days ago, right? But nobody's in the spirit of damn, this is effed up. We're actually, like, reality hasn't set in with people. Like, you may be calling this America, but this wasn't America when you got here, you know? You had to murder, you had to rape, you had to rob, you had to deceive to get this land, you see? Hey, man, the history of America is disgusting, you know? We're in, what are we in, New York? Okay, what's York? That's over in England. That's why they called it New York. Then you got in, New England. Oh, why do they call it the New England Patriots, which is located in Boston? Because Esau had to defeat the Brits, okay? So we as a people have been at war at all times, man. And on top of that, Esau hasn't stopped being at war with us, okay? He went to war with us as Esau. He went to war with us as the Greeks. He went to war with us as the pagan Roman Empire, might I add, if you know history, right? And then with his rebirthing, man, the spirit's changing. Let's go to Rev 20 if you want. Let's go into some history. Let's go into some history now, you see? Because that was the spirit, all right, putting out a vibration that judgment is coming for you wicked and false teachers. But at the same time, we also got to rebuke and prophesize about the wicked, evil counterpart of our nation, who is who? Esau. Esau is technically our brother, you know? But let's go into a little bit of history through the Spirit, because where are we standing? We're standing on Gad land. We're standing on stolen land. We're standing on a land that was established by bloodshed and inequity, rape and murder, skull, bones, blood is underneath here, man. But you're proud to be in this land, this stolen land. This land used to be a paradise, and now it's a concrete jungle. What advancements do you have? The only advancement that humans have is in wickedness, okay? You're not advancing in righteousness. You're not even advancing in righteous intellect or intelligence, you know? Let's, Rev 20, you got it? Yeah, read that.
Rev 20, verse 1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit.
Which is talking about Yahushai, which that's in Revelations 1, right? And who made himself a little lower than an angel, right?
I got it.
Yeah, for edification.
This is Revelation 1 and 18. I am he that liveth and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore, amen, and have the keys of hell and of death.
It said I am alive evermore, which proves that after 1,000 years, Yahushua is not going to go into a coma. Okay? Right. He defeated death. Through the new covenant, we won't sin, so we won't die.
Well, he's Alpha and Omega. You know, so how could the Lord die?
Right.
You got it, bro.
Back in Rev? Was that it?
Yep.
Okay.
Back in Rev 20, verse 1, and it says, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand.
Yeah, great chain in his hand, because you got to understand, in history, Esau knows that he was the Greeks and the Romans, but he wasn't always the Romans. All right, because he fell. Well, I'll say the Western Roman
Empire fell, which the Roman Empire actually moved to the east, to Asia Minor, which they called that the Constantinople or Byzantine, which is what Esau calls it, which means backwards. But meanwhile, the Western empires fell, you see. So one of the last Caesars was, Edomite rulers, I believe, was, what's his name, man? I would have to look it up, but they besieged Jerusalem in 70 AD, you see. Titus and Vespasian, Titus and Vespasian, after they besieged Jerusalem, Jake began to get up in there, and rulership as Caesars in Rome. Okay, you have Septimius Severus, I believe from about 111 AD on upward. And then during the time of 325 AD, you had the Emperor Constantine, who is an Israelite, all right? And this is where you get Constantinople from, because he moved the empire from the capital over there, Rome. He moved that to Constantinople in Asia Minor. You see?
Yeah.
And then ever since then, Christianity has spread throughout all the known world. But what they did, they had a council called the Council of Nicaea, right, which Constantine was going off, but he was an Israelite. What he did was he mixed the pagan idols with the scriptures.
Yep, sun god.
This is why you have like Horus, or the picture with Jesus with the sun behind his head. That goes back to the sun god. Or you have Mary holding baby Jesus, because that goes back to Isis, the worship of the Queen of Heaven. There are people that have been worshiping these idols, and they just revamped it into Christianity. That's why Christianity is wicked. What did the Lord tell that woman when she tried to big up Mary? You know?
Yeah, she said, blessed are the paps that gave you suck, and he said, no, blessed is they that do the will.
Right, so the Father is not about woman worship. So we don't worship Mary up here, man. And we're not into Catholicism.
Nope.
In Catholicism, they worship idols. They bow down to statues. The Lord told us not to do that. We worship the Lord in spirit and in truth.
Keep going. Verse 2, it says, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent.
The Romans. The pagan Roman Empire is that dragon, you know? And that dragon is back. The deadly wound of that dragon is here today. You see? This is the work of the dragon. All right? This is what you have now, man. Okay?
Well, keep going, man.
And it says, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years.
So he evolved. He evolved from a little serpent, all right, to a goddamn 7-headed dragon, man. And this is the empire that's ruling the earth right now. You have America, the whore, riding upon that beast.
Yep, that beast-like system, living off that same. Because you got to understand, when Esau came over to the Americas, which, well, if you keep reading, we'll go into it.
All right. Verse 3, and cast him into the bottomless pit.
Yeah, what you know is Europe, right?
And shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled.
Yeah, and that actually was roughly about 1,000 years.
Yeah, from 325 AD to about 1325 AD, you had the bubonic plague or the Black Death come upon the scene and wiped out 2/3 of our people, which is very spiritual. You know, and then since then, you had Esau get into power. You can watch the show The Bourgeois Family on Netflix. It shows you how they got into power, because during that time, the power was in the church. You see, if you were a bishop, if you were a pope, you had power. This is why when Esau got into power, he wants to separate what? State and the church.
Yep.
A new world order. You see? So they had to get in power through the church, and this is why he painted Caesar Borgia, his son, as the son of God, because that's where the power lied through the so-called religion. That's how he won the people over, because Jake has a zeal, but not according to knowledge.
Right. And that's why it says in Revelations, the false prophet and the unclean spirit as a frog, because that same power structure back then, through which you know the Pope and the church, that still power is still being used today.
Catholicism is completely wicked, man. They wear that hat, which goes back to the worship of the fish god Dagon.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. Which Dagon, the priest or the gatekeeper, is what the Pope is today. We had that one Christian book. Pretty much they said what the priest for Dagon did is what the Pope does today. You know, the same worshiping, if you will.
And it makes sense, because Jake was heavy into Egypt. Hell, you had Judas Tiberius Alexander, who was one of the Roman generals, who was an Israelite. All right, and along with him, he had the black woman or an Israelite woman with him. They helped overthrow Jerusalem in 70 AD. Okay, that was a very heavy time frame.
Which was prophecy.
Yep.
But what the Spirit is bringing out is not only the atrocities that Esau has done, but Jake that have partook with him. You know, and adding on, but off, you know, this historic event. Just like now, you got Eve and Jake sticking everybody with the flesh wound, man, and the Spanish woman too, just out there hitting everybody with Esau's mechanical rod, man.
But just recently, they had Sierra come to the White House with her children.
I saw that.
Pretty much promoting you to bring your children to go and get that flesh wound.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Get sacrificed.
Yep. Which they're going to get theirs, man. Let's keep going.
And it says, and after that, he must be loose a little season.
Right. And then ultimately his loosing, all right, when he got the funding, was the 1492.
Yep.
Which that was through Spain.
Queen Ferdinand and Isabella.
Because you got to understand, Spain had a major part. The Spanish Edomites, if you will, had a major part to play. Okay, with America's conception. All right, because it came down to South America. But remember, the Spanish went as far as to damn near California. Okay, the Spanish, they were all up in here too in 1492. So Esau came over. Let's get Jeremiah 50 and 33, because what we're going to show you, all right, in the spirit is Judah and Israel were oppressed together, man.
Right.
The northern and southern kingdom caught a lot of hell. And if you didn't know, you know that Gad waged war with Esau longer than Judah was in captivity?
Yep.
Okay. Was that it on it?
That was it.
Okay. Let's read this real quick.
Which is Jeremiah 50.
We're going to break it down. We're going to break it. Remember what it say? Line by line. Here a little, there a little. We're going to, through the Spirit, bring out some historical information on this prophecy.
This is Jeremiah 50 and 33. Thus saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua of hosts, the children of Israel.
The children of Israel being who? The northern kingdom. All right? So-called Spanish, Mexican, Ecuador, Argentina, Puerto Rican, Cuban, okay? Who am I forgetting? North American, Ephraim, Seminole, all right? Because remember, going back to the Maccabees, Esdras, remember, they escaped captivity of the Assyrians, and they thought themselves, all right, to go to a land where no man dwelt, all right?
That was before the Babylonians took us down.
Exactly.
That was before the Greeks came and defiled our temple.
Exactly.
That was before the Romans destroyed the temple.
Exactly. All right. So let's read that really fast.
And Esdras,
Yep. 13 and 40, is it?
second Esdras 13 and verse 40. These are those 10 tribes.
All right. What you can precept, if I'm not mistaken, it's 1st or 2nd Kings 17.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's get it.
It
Right.
says,
Hold that, Brother Bishop.
second Esdras 13 and 40.
Yep.
Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king.
Now hold that and let's read it.
I'm gonna start at 18.
Okay.
The whole chapter is fire, but
Yep.
this is 2 Kings 17 and 18. It says Israel is rejected by the Lord.
For their wickedness.
Therefore the Lord, Yahweh Shem
Now
Yahushai,
they were rejected, but they weren't forsaken. Okay, this is why we needed a savior. And this is why when the savior got on the scene, he said, I have sheep that are not of this fold. Yahushai knew about his northern brothers all the way over here in the western hemisphere, man. Okay?
therefore Yahweh Shem Yahushai was angry with Israel and removed them out of his sight. There was none left but the tribe of Judah only. And Judah kept not the commandments of the Lord their power.
Judah meaning Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Remember, Judah's the head tribe, just like Ephraim's the head in the north. That's why Ephraim could represent the north and Judah represents the southern, which ultimately we're supposed to be a united kingdom, which, fun fact, the Anglo-Saxons made it a united, the reason why you have the UK today,
King Alfred.
they united the kingdoms.
Yep. Because another reason why the Vikings was able to come in and fuck them up like that, because they were divided. What did Yahushua say? A kingdom divided shall not stand.
Nope.
So the Lord put a heavy spirit on King Alfred to want to unite the kingdom. That's why you have the UK today.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, fun fact of our history. Well, let's keep going.
It says, and Judah kept not the commandments of the Lord their power, but walked in the statutes of Israel,
Yeah, creature subject to vanity, you know.
which they made. And Yahweh by Shem Yahushai rejected all the seed of Israel and afflicted them and delivered them into the hand of the spoilers until he had cast them out of his sight.
But remember, just like it says in Jeremiah, I think 3, just as an adulterous woman, but the Lord took us back. Okay, we're just going into history right now of why we are scattered, but we are in that land that we were scattered to, now being brought back by the blood of Yahushai.
That's why I love the book of Baruch, because it tells you that it was not for our destruction.
Right.
All right? Exactly what it's talking about here, it tells you, it explains it in Baruch.
Right.
You know?
Right. Which that was in the Babylonian captivity, because he was the understudy, if you will, of Jeremiah.
Yep.
You know?
They were like a cat.
That's right.
It says, and for he rent Israel from the house of David, and they made Jeroboam the son of Nebat king, and Jeroboam drave Israel from following the Lord and made them sin a great sin.
A wicked shepherd. And he made them sin a great sin of idolatry, wickedness, you know, a lot of nasty things, a lot of naughtiness. That's why you got naughty figs out here. Okay, keep going.
It says, for the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam, which he did, they departed not from them.
And this is your history, brothers and sisters. This is our history we're reading, man. Okay? This is our history that now has unraveled to a harmonious example of prophecy. Okay? Because we're tapping in to a time of history that, you know, you look on and say, damn, but we're in the period past that now where we're under grace. So we can talk and learn about these things and see, you know, the wickedness of our fathers that now we can repent from. That's why it says, if you repent for what ye have done in your fathers, then I'll remember you. You know, just keep going.
I'm going to jump up to verse 16. It says, and they left all the commandments of the Lord their God and made them images, molten images, and even 2 calves, and made a grove and worshiped all the hosts of heaven and served Baal.
Yeah, they made calves because under the Egyptian rulership, they got what? Tainted. Okay? This is why the Lord said, when I send you into the land, do not after the heathen. See? So certain spirits jumped on our people in these captivities that led them to a further judgment, man. Because the Lord may have delivered us out of that captivity, but then there was wickedness found from that, you know? This is why right now we're not just being pulled out of America. Imagine you just pulling Soldier Boy out of America. He's just gonna go and fucking do the nay-nay in Jerusalem. So then we gotta stone him again, and then you're gonna get the purge out. See why you gotta purge out the rebels? See why now it's all spiritual? Because Jake needs to be cleansed before they can be delivered. What's the point of me, like Esau? He'll give you liposuction, but ain't gonna stop your ass with the eating, demon.
Well, the nigga will put a band-aid on your cut off leg.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. So you're not helping. There's no physical therapy.
He's of no value.
So what we're going through is spiritual therapy, brothers and sisters. We're going through therapy right now. You're being molded. You're putting away the old man, so when the time of deliverance, you could be found accepted.
True healing.
True healing. Man, that's beautiful. That's why you got to accept captivity, because now we're learning why we're in it. Time and time again, I believe in Judges or Nehemiah, he just goes back, boom, locked up, freed, locked up, parole, free. You know what I mean? That's that's their legacy, if you will, as a nation. You know? Keep going.
2 Kings 17 and 23. And another thing Jeroboam did was he kicked the Levites out, right?
Yeah.
Because the tribe of Levi, they lived in the suburbs amongst all the tribes. So what he did was he kicked them out because he feared that the people was going to cleave unto Levi and go back to Jerusalem. See, that's why you have the chart with Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, because Benjamin stayed with Judah. You see?
Yep. Yeah, that's a good point. A lot of people don't know, which is a trick question. You know, ask, why do you have Levi with the southern kingdom? You know, see, you gotta know the history. You gotta know the account.
Well, his name is Obino. It means joined to me. Joined to who? The head tribe, Judah.
Yep.
You see?
Yep.
It says, unto the Lord remove Israel out of his sight, as he has said by all his servants, the prophets. So was Israel carried away out of their own land
Yep.
unto Assyria
Yep.
unto this day.
Yep. They were carried into Assyria. Keep going.
Verse 24.
And that's also why the Lord told a Samaritan woman to get her husband.
I helped you guys before. I don't ever.
Oh, you're fine. You're
I'm
fine.
so sorry.
No, you're fine. No, it's fine. Hey, it'll be okay soon. It'll be okay soon. Man, that's messed up. Say she don't have enough money to buy milk. Look what America does to its people.
Inflation, bro. And do
Yeah.
you know on January 1st, the inflation's supposed to go even higher?
Good.
Yep.
Good. Hey, and real quick, because you know we're getting into this. Hey, brothers, man. Hey, don't stress that shit, man. Give him his money. When you play Monopoly, do y'all be tripping about buying shit? You know, give his ass his money. You know, right now is a time to be wise and utilize money as a defense. Use the world, don't abuse it. You know, if you can find yourself to get a little part-time job just to keep income, do that, man. Because see, we're just doing what we need to do until we ain't got to do it no more. You know, we're not out here stressing because they ain't got no more eggs and shit. We got to pay bills still. You got to pay your phone bill still. You got to pay this still. So, hey, use wisdom, all right, in this time of prophetic events, because it's about to go, you know? But just use wisdom with discretion, you know? You got it, brother. Just wanted to say that in the spirit.
2 Kings 17 and 24, and the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon, and from Kutha, and from Ava, and from Hamath, and from Sepharvaim, and placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel.
So just like Esau did at King Antiochus, he brought lewd men into Jerusalem. So just like this wicked ass Assyrian, he brought heathens into our actual homeland. You know, it's gonna go into where they thought to leave. Okay.
It says, and they possessed Samaria and dwelt in the cities thereof.
And this is watch. This is gonna prove why the Syrian woman said that she worshipped Jacob and all that. Watch, it's gonna show you.
And you know what else this proves? How Esau was just able to walk in and say, oh, he's the Vikings, he's the Saxons. Because they took us, we died.
Yep.
So what do you think happened to the cities? Were they burned down? No, it's not prophecy. They just walked in and repopulated it, man.
Yep.
And repainted over the images.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. That's why they call it New York. I'm surprised they don't call it New Jerusalem.
Right. It says, And so it was at the beginning of their dwelling there that they feared not the Lord.
Yep.
Therefore the Lord sent lions among them, which slew some of them. Wherefore they spake to the king of Assyria.
So the Lord judged these heathens for trying to so-called be us. So he sent lions on them, man, because they were trying to portray themselves as us. This is why there's a known fact in the land of Israel. There's like a religion. There's like some kind of. There's like a episode that happens to people when they come to Israel. They bug out. King, he's talking to me. They be bugging out, man.
That's a holy land.
It's a holy land. So the people, they get attacked spiritually. Oh, look at that, 444. Lord's will, you know?
Ultimately, it was into their idolatry.
Yeah.
And what did the Lord do to Ham, Canaan? Salakia? He fucked them up because of their idolatry.
Yeah.
You know, the Lord don't play about that land.
Mm-hmm.
You know. 1 Kings 17 and 26. Wherefore they spake to the king of Assyria, saying, the nations which thou hast removed and placed in the cities of Samaria know not the manner of the power of the land. Therefore he has sent lions among them, and behold, they slay them, because they know not the manner of the power of the land.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 27. The king of Assyria commanded, saying, carry thither one of the priests whom he brought from thence, and let them go and dwell there, and let him teach them the manner of the power of the land. So they had to be taught by actual priests.
And this is why the woman at the well told Yahushua that she knew worship Jacob. And that's why he told her she knows not what she worship. You don't know what you worship. You were put in that land. Your fathers was taught about us, but that don't make you us. Just like in the kingdom. You're going to know the Sabbath. You're going to know the laws. That don't make you an Israelite. You know?
You gotta have to stop.
Just like Jake. He knows all. You be seeing Jakes get locked up. They learn all the law library. That don't make them an American. You know?
Verse 28. Then one of the priests whom they had carried away from Samaria came and dwelt in Bethel and taught them how they should fear Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Yeah, the Lord always used priests. He used priests to and sent them to Ptolemy Philadelphus to break down the scriptures, and that's what you have the Septuagint today, because it was the priests. So the priests were always used as a mediator ways of the Lord, you know. But now what? We're priests. A priest of the Melchizedek because he Yahushua. So we're teachers now of the law, if you will, too.
Yeah, now we are priests. Another thing Jeroboam did is he took different tribes like Gad and made Gad the priest.
Yep.
You know, but now, hey, we are the priests now.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, let's get to where they sought to go to the other land, the northern kingdom. No, I want the one in Hosea where they where it said that they can you go up to the other chapter where it's their idol worship and all that? Where is it? Well, yeah, read that. Yeah, read this.
2nd Esdras 13, start from the top again at verse 40, says, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of, out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanassar the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came unto the they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves that they will leave the multitude of the heathen.
Right. So the brother was reading, and this was pretty much explaining. No, we got it. So because they go together. So sometimes I was thinking about this account in that chapter, but this is the chapter of what they were going through, and this is why they said, look, we need to get out of here. So basically, you were reading how these are the northern kingdom was suffering under these heathens. Then you had heathens in their land learning their ways and teaching. So they thought to themselves, all right, well, let's flee this land and go somewhere else. So read that again.
2nd Esdras 13 and verse 40. And it says, when Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. And they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen.
Right. So basically, they came up with an escape plan. You know, they escaped slavery. They were under bondage, and they came up with an idea to get out of it. Keep going.
And it says, If they took this counsel among themselves, that they would lead the multitude of the heathen
Yeah.
and go forth into a further country
Yeah.
where never mankind dwelt.
Right. Where the never mankind dwelt. Ozareth. All right. Ozareth.
It's gonna
Yep,
say,
which
yep.
I'm gonna get the Jewish
Jews,
encyclopedia.
yep. So, and why did they know no man dwelt? Because under the rulership of King Solomon, he had an agreement with a Hamite naval fleet under the order of Hiram, right? And Hiram would come to the Americas and get them peacocks, gorillas, or apes, and then this is why you have Omeleks today, okay? So they knew about another land, all right? And the Northern Kingdom took that trip, and they well, keep reading.
Verse 42.
See, this is the real history. If you want to know why your school system only speaks about who you know as black people from 1619, because they're only speaking about your American history. You see, when you want to look at Native Americans, they don't speak past America. They don't. When it comes to you Judites, they don't speak past America because they're only giving you African American history. So where were we before 1619? Where were we before 1492? See, through the Spirit, Esau can't have history no more.
I remember I went to African American history in college, right? My professor, he was mad cool. His name was Skywalker. I think his name was like Levi, something like that. Levi Skywalker. That was my man. He told me the reason why, because this was before I knew the truth, he told me the reason why the English, why they went to Africa, right? I thought I was African, you know. He told me the reason why they went there because Mansa Musa was so rich and his wealth attracted the colonizers. That's bullshit, man. Fucking bullshit, man. You know, so they don't teach you, you don't learn nothing in college, man. This is where you learn your true history at.
Right.
You know?
Right. So let's keep going.
Verse 42, and it says,
Yeah, 1492. We'll keep
and
going.
it says that they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land.
So they were in the spirit of, hey, we need to live by our laws and our customs. All right, this is why in America you have the Chief Joseph Tablet Stone, which is an Assyrian tablet found in New Mexico, man. Or this is why you got the Los Lunas stone found out here with Paleo Hebrew. Because the Northern Kingdom came here. Can I see that, Baba Kasha? The last one for Dash? I'm getting old, brother. I can't move as fast. This is why you had this written. Look it up, man. Look up the Los Lunas stone. You look it up. This is your history. Don't look up fucking LeBron James shooting percentage. Look up your history, man. You know, so let's keep going.
And it said, verse 43, and they enter into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river.
The narrow passage. When you look back at history, you couldn't just walk out to a beach and sail off. You'd have to go through a river, through a harbor, you know, through a docking system, because your ship being so big, it can't reach shallow ground. So you have to have your ship somewhere where the water is deep. So they went through deep waters, all right, created boats, if you will, and constructed them to set sail, right? So read that again.
It says,
my man Floki was a boat maker, you know, which it said they came to the Americas. The Vikings came here, all right?
Well,
Benjamin, the Vikings.
Well, that's our history, man. We are hard men, warriors. Look at David in the forest and the caves. You gotta be hard to do that shit. This man came to a boat. He came to America on the boat by himself. You know how scary it is to be in the goddamn ocean?
Yeah, that's Jonah.
You know?
Jonah was out there, you
That's
know?
some hard shit.
Well, when Yahushua met Peter, they were fishing.
That's not no I'm a fisherman. No, that's hard man work.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And that's our history.
That's right.
You know, so these men were great navigators, sailors.
Yep.
They had Issachar with them.
Exactly.
Who has knowledge of what?
Signs.
The signs of the heavens.
Yep.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
back in 2nd Esdras 13 and verse 43.
Oh, Salaki, this is why when you go to the gym, you have what? The back row.
Mm-hmm.
You see? That's what they were doing when they were working. That's a workout.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
2nd Esdras 13 and verse 43. And they enter into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river.
Yep.
For the Most High then shows signs for them and helped still the flood.
Right, because the floods, meaning what? The season, which they call hurricane season, is based out in the South Atlantic Ocean, which is right past the Horn of Africa. So when they came through the Euphrates, they had to come down, okay? And they went around the Horn of Africa, which landed them over to what? South America, all right? Where no mankind dwelt. Because you got to think, when Hiram was sailing, it took him what? 3 years.
You have 1.5 to go, 1.5 to get back.
So it took Gad 1.5 to get there. All right. So when Ham was sailing, when King Solomon was ruling in Israel, did the Hamites go north where Russia is? No, they went south where Africa is, but the waters, and they went around the land of Africa and kept going and got to the Western Hemisphere. Okay. This is history. So the Northern Kingdom did that as well, but they did it way back during the Assyrians. All right, now you had speckles of the Northern around because there were some mentioned in Acts, sister.
Not all of them went.
No.
Just like they didn't get all the Levites.
Exactly.
Out. You see?
Exactly.
There's always that remnant. I
Right.
believe Simeon in the book of Luke that wanted to see the Lord before he died from Simeon.
Right. See? So let's keep going.
Verse 44, it says, "For the Most High then showed signs for them and have stilled the flood."
Well, the Most High showed signs for Columbus to get over here. The St. Elmo's fire. Okay? So they all were getting signs. Keep going.
And it says, till they were
And speaking of Columbus, Europe's up here. So he went like this. Because Columbus didn't come to North America. He was south with the Spaniards.
And Columbus knew that, he was over here.
That's why he brought a Hebrew interpreter, Joseph Bon Levi. And Joseph Bon Levi stayed with his counterparts when they got here. All right, so keep going.
And it says,
See, Esau don't own history no more, man. Okay?
It ain't his story.
It's
our story.
Right. This is why he's trying to control the narratives of the future, because he can't control the narrative of the past no more. You can't talk to us about history. You can't talk about American history without mentioning the Israelites. You can't talk about Greek history without mentioning the Israelites. You can't talk about Roman history without mentioning the Israelites, the children of God. You see? So through all his legacies, there's always shameful spewing to add on top. All right? Which you're proud of.
He's a vessel unto dishonor.
Exactly.
Just like Yahweh Shai conquered Rome, it's the same way he's gonna conquer America, but worse.
Keep going.
Verse 45, and it says, for through that country, there was a great way to go, namely of 1.5 years.
See? Because going back with Solomon, it was 1.5 years for him to get there, then 1.5 years to get back. So 3 years. And King Solomon was such a righteous ruler that those Hamites, they could have stayed, but they came back. They went on a journey that was so long it equated 3 years, but they came back with it. You see? Keep going.
And it says,
so it took them 1.5 years, right? 1.5 years to get from Samaria, right, through the river, around the Horn, and then the land right here, South America, and that's why you have, you call them Taino Indians.
Right, the Middle East was very connected, man. Back then. It's still unto this day. It's not going to take you 1.5 years to get from goddamn Assyria to Egypt.
Right, to Africa.
Or in Africa. No.
You hear them say that? They try to say Gad is in Africa.
South Africa.
But they got spears. Grow up. As Elder Aurealis says, grow up, man. All right, we're only here for the sincere sheep that really want to be edified with their history. And we're talking about prophecy. This is prophecy, man. Ezra said this in prophecy. Ezra wasn't with him,
It was revealed unto him.
Exactly. Yep. Keep going.
And it says,
and now it's been revealed unto us. So you as an Israelite, you should know the breakdown when it comes to your northern brothers, man. Because you still got wicked ass Jakes that are in that spirit. Oh, behold the dreamer. Yep. If y'all know what I mean. Right. That's what I felt about Joseph. Yep.
This is
it's gonna go into it. Okay. That word? Yeah, watch.
Verse 45, and it says, and the same region is called Azareth.
There you go. You want to break it down, brother? What's Azareth?
This is the Jewish encyclopedia. The name of the land beyond the great river far away from the habitation of man, in which the 10 tribes of Israel will dwell, observing the laws of Moses until the time of the restoration.
And that we're in the restoration, okay? We're in a time of restoration, man. You see?
It says Columbus identified America with this land.
Boom, right there. So the Northern Kingdom came to what you know as the Americas, okay? So they came to what? South America, and then they migrated up, okay? Because going back now we can, was it on that, brother?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay, was that it on it?
Oh, yeah,
That was it, yeah, Ezra. So now we just proved in prophecy, so now we're all the way in America. So let's get Jeremiah 49:1. What shall befall you in the last days? We're in the last days.
Genesis.
What'd I say? Jeremiah? I'm sorry. Genesis 49:1. Right? So now you know that the Northern Kingdom came to the Americas, but guess what? The Northern Kingdom went through all this land. You had some that stayed down here, some that went more in the middle, and some that went more northern. Gad and the Seminole Indians and Issachar went more northern. Manasseh kind of settled down where you know as Cuba. Naphtali was more southern. Who else? It was more Zebulun, the water. Zebulun and Asher, Brazil. They all kind of stayed down in South America, but other tribes, like I said, Ephraim, Issachar, Gad, Reuben, okay, Manasseh, they went more north. Okay, they went up northern. You see,
begin to expand, you know, because they were procreating, even fruitful.
Nomadic.
Yep.
They were nomadic people, and they knew the land Sabbath.
Yep.
So if we're gonna let this land rest, we're gonna go over here. Okay. So let's read real quick Jeremiah 49, Genesis 49:1, and then we'll jump back to Jeremiah 50. And now we can kind of go back more. And what's this do, brothers? Now we can talk about Babylon, because we just had a time lapse. And we just fast forward to Babylon, okay? So just read that first verse.
Genesis 49 and verse 1.
Yep.
And Jacob called unto his sons and said,
So Jacob's a prophet.
gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you
What?
in the last days.
In the last days. This is why when you look at the 12 tribes chart, the nations on the 12 tribes are based on the Western Hemisphere. Because Gad knew they were Gad when they came over here, but through Esau, Jeremiah 17:4. Jeremiah 17:4, he just discontinued our heritage. Oh, and then in Jeremiah 50, ye destroyer of my heritage. He took the Gad. Oh, do you know that Andrew Jackson made a fort called Fort Gadsden?
Yep.
Fort Gadsden. All right, so they know who we were. Fort Negro, okay, Hebrews. Let's read that real quick.
St. Jeremiah 17 and verse 4.
Yep.
And thou even thyself shall discontinue from thine heritage.
Now we're cooking, you know. Now the ball's rolling. You see? Read that again.
St. Jeremiah 17 and 4. And thou even thyself
Yep.
shall discontinue from thine heritage.
You will discontinue. Did you discontinue when you escaped Assyrian captivity? No. Did you discontinue Judah when you're the Babylonians? No. But you discontinued your heritage as the Greeks, during the empire of the Greeks. I'm speaking about the southern kingdom. This is why Paul said Jew nor Greek, okay? And then our heritage got discontinued when Esau came over in 1492, when he was loose for a little season in Revelation 20. So he was loose for a little season, okay? And what did he do? He came over and murdered and raped and killed and pillaged and robbed, cut off members and noses and hands. This is why the fictional character Wolverine was stolen from an Asherite by the name of Galvarino, okay? Which the actual Jake hands were cut off, and he healed and tied swords to him and went back and was jacking up the Spaniards, man. The conquistadors, Cortez and all that, man. You see? So you finished that?
Nice more.
Okay.
And it says,
And then we'll get 50.
thine heritage that I gave thee.
What's our heritage, brothers? Being an Israelite.
Covenant.
The covenant. Covenants. This is why now we remember ourselves in captivity, because we forgot ourselves because of captivity. This guy took our nationality from us. He beat it out of us. He subjugated unrighteous decrees that made it illegal for us to serve Yahweh Shem Shai. And then you stand here with your proud, smug looks and try to tell us salvation for everyone. You don't know history. You don't know prophecy. It ain't hard, bro. We don't gotta, give me Acts 5. We don't need to go and say Israel. Are you under the covenant? Are you from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? Then you can't talk. There's nothing to talk about. You can't come and play Monopoly with Uno rules. You know? Pieces of shit. You people are terrible, man. You don't care about the children of God. Do you know that we are the children of God? And you've murdered and raped and beat and tortured us continually. Then you scoff and mock and laugh as if it's a joke. But you're the one that's a laughing stock. You're not in reality.
Laugh now, cry later.
Right, because you're in a strong delusion. But your reality of lies is being broken down right before you.
The house of cards is falling, man.
Right, man. Just keep going.
And it says,
Fucking people, man. But then you want to fucking cry when something happens to your child or your wife or your children. You know? Like the Lord ain't out here judging people, man. Are you kidding me? That's the problem with this place. You give Esau too much power.
and it says that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
Right. This is why when he came over as the conquistadors, all right, he was wrecking shop. Okay? This is why he was putting us in slavery, putting us in mines. Okay? Keep going.
And it says, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever.
Yeah, because now we're jumping to Jeremiah. Because they came over to this land to live by the laws, but they weren't ultimately. Look at the movie Apocalypto. All right, Jake also took heathen customs with him, sacrificing, idol worship. Right? They took all that with them. So the Lord, that wickedness brought what? Esau over, because Esau is the sword.
Yeah, that was the Lord's anger.
Yep.
You know what they were doing to our women, cutting the stomachs open, stomping the babies, dashing them. That was the Lord's anger. You know, because before they got over here, our people were at war with one another.
Yep.
Just like during the Dark Ages, you had the Scots versus the English. They was always at war with one another. You know?
Yeah, they show you that in Braveheart. He said, if we can't drown them out, we'll breed them out. you trying to breed out another Jake, but you Jake. What the fuck? Jake, crazy.
That's the last way you're going to win.
Right. You just make it more.
This is Jeremiah 50 and 33.
Yep.
Thus said Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah will oppress together.
Right there, let's stop. Because right there, we're breaking it down. So the children of Israel being the northern, we broke it down in the spirit. They came over where? To Babylon. And then who followed? The Spanish. You see? Which you had 1492, right? You had 1492. Then you had 1524, the Spanish entered North America. And then in 1587, the British landed on the Florida Isles. And who was there? Reuben. So what were they doing? Going to war. Oh, and then 1607, the Europeans furthered their expansion in what you know as America. Fighting with who? Gad. Then in 1619, under the Portuguese slaveholders, they brought over who? Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. So Gad, Reuben, Issachar, Ephraim, Manasseh, Naphtali, all right, they were already going to war with Esau long before Judah got over here.
Well, they were damn near wiped out. You know, from millions of people to thousands. You know, through what? Through the disease, smallpox, which they're bringing that back. You know.
Well, Esau said, or Gad said that Esau gave it to him. They said or it was the rats that came on the boats. See, what you people don't understand is when Esau came over here, he wasn't all this clean cut, shaven. He was a grotesque being.
He was a fucking homoerotic cannibal.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. Very disgusting, detestable. Okay, the things he did, and then he'd write in his nasty little journal the shit he made our women do. You know?
Yeah, they said Christopher Columbus, if that's his real name, This nigga slept with a manatee.
What the fuck?
A sea animal, man.
Wow.
Yeah, they got syphilis.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
This is what they would do.
And then he said he couldn't let his sword down for an hour because he had a spirit on him, a spirit of that rage on Jake, man. So Esau's been at war with us since he crept back out the caves. He hasn't stopped being at war with us. Let's go back, what we say, 1492. That was the Spanish. 1587, then the Brits. Oh shit. We might have to get Daniel 7. That's the three horns. The Spanish, the British, right? And the French. Which the Americans had to defeat those three to get this land while he still was having your ass in a Debo headlock. While he was proclaiming freedom while your ass was enslaved. How can you express Independence Day when you had slaves that weren't independent for freedom? Let's read that again, though. Hey, some of these dates are very important, man. So I want to say it again. 1492, Columbus, right? 1587, the Brits. 1607, further in the Brits, and then 1619 was when the Southern came. You see? Oppressed together. We were oppressed together, so you can't talk about the transatlantic slave trade without mentioning your northern counterpart. He was over here fighting with him, and he had to fight off Gad and Reuben just to bring you over here. You know? And then when they got to this land, guess who was giving Gad liquor? The Swedes, the Dutch, okay? They used liquor as a tool to get one up over on them. Now we're starting to transition into Habakkuk, you know? You people don't know the grotesque history of your country for you to drive up and down these streets and your so-called freedom, man. It took millions of Israelites' death, murder, for you to walk around and twerk and dance and sing and fuck-ass rap. Now the ancestors of these people. Flat tire, man.
Jeremiah 50 and 33, thus said Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together.
Right, so through history, you can prove that. Through history, you can prove that they were oppressed together. And in 1682, Gad was referred to as a Negro. Do you know that? Gad was referred to as a Negro because in 1681, Esau identified himself as white. See? So even his what he identifies now is so old, you know? Keep going.
When you watch that movie, The Revenant, he calls them tree niggas. You know?
See?
It says, and all that took them captives, held them fast, they refused to let them go.
Right, slavery. They refused to let them go. So they came and stole this land, murdered, raped, and caused deceit to establish it. Then the people they enslaved, they refused to let them go. And then we're all supposed to sit around and walk and act like everything's okay. And then when you talk about these crimes and atrocities and issues, it's blown off. It's pushed to the side.
Until you
forget about it. You see? Everlasting, man. Everlasting. Man, it's the shame in history that you've created and the relationship with us and you is disgusting, man. All right? War crimes, okay? The war crimes that you've committed on the children of God. We were oppressed together, so history proves Judah and Israel. But you got it, bro. I'm just changing batteries.
This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, and I'll start at verse 12. It says, "Woe to him that builded a town with blood."
Yeah, and that's what he was doing. He was establishing a town with blood because the reason I mentioned Daniel, because if you go to that, matter of fact, can you go to it and go to the little horn, which we know that's talking about America? It jumps from Rome. He's
verse 8?
Yeah, where it goes about Rome, but then it goes into the little horn, and he had 3 in his mouth. Because you have to understand, when the Spanish came over here within 1492, they ruled what you know as Mexico. But Issachar got that back. But remember, the Spanish went to war with the Americans. You see, so the Spanish got kicked out of the Americas too, to establish the land of Issachar today. which Issachar's land, Mexico, that was all the way up where Cali is. That's why they call California northern Mexico. Okay? You found it, brother? Daniel 7 and 8. Yep.
This is Daniel 7 and verse 8.
Which, real quick, for the brothers and sisters, when you read Daniel 7, it's a timeline of history, you know, which the Spirit we like to go into. It's just the Spirit. It's not us. The Spirit has us go into this history a lot, reoccurring. But when you read Daniel from 7:1 and down, it breaks down the notable kingdoms: Assyrian, Babylonian, Medo-Persian, Greek, Roman, and ultimately America. But it also references the Spanish, the French, and the British. Let's read that real quick.
Time jumps.
A time jump. It's a prophetic timeline, you know?
This is Daniel 7 and 8. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn,
Yeah.
before whom there were 3 of the first horns.
Yeah, the little horn came up from whom there were 3 horns. See, because going into history, that's why we were talking about it. 1492, the Spanish. 1587, the Brits. And then you also had the French. That's why you had the French-Indian War, okay? Because the French went to war with the British went to war with the Americans went to war with the Spanish. See, so they all were fighting as Judah and Israel were just getting tossed to and fro, man. So let's read it one more time.
Before whom there were 3 of the first horns,
Yep.
plucked up by the roots.
Yeah, the 3 rulerships, because horn represents power, ruler, right? So these 3 horns were plucked, okay? This is why you had the Louisiana Purchase, which they purchased that from the French.
Yep.
This is why you have Canada today. This is why they're called French Canadian.
Yep.
All right?
That's why you got Levi in Louisiana and in Canada.
Yep. And a lot of New Orleans are Reuben, because Reuben migrated from Mississippi down in the Florida area, and through Andrew Jackson, they got pushed into Arkansas. So you got a lot of Jakes out there playing for the Razorbacks. Was it the Arkansas Razorbacks, the football team? You know? Hey, bro, you gotta know your history. What did Pop say? You gotta to know the mystery. You gotta know the history. History, secular history alone proves what we're saying with the scriptures. So one more time, brother.
It says, I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots, and behold, and this horn with eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things.
Yeah, Esau's democracy, because even Gad mentioned when it came to the Yankees and the English, they're very big on their rights and liberty and freedom. But let me say this, Daniel 7, you also got to read Revelation 17, because that says out of the horn, a little horn, and that's speaking about Britain. Because you got to understand that through Britain came the Americans, okay?
Yep, America came out of Britain.
America came out of Britain, all right? Because it was the Europeans through what? England, okay? These are all these Edomites that sprang up through the Renaissance and was establishing rulership, all right, in the lands that we took over, attempting a righteous rule. So once time fulfilled itself, they started migrating where? Over here to the Americas. Oh, now Jeremiah 49 and 19. Because now what are we doing? We're explaining the prophetic events that took place. Who were the troops that overcame Gad, that his father Jacob prophesied to him that will befall him in the last days? We just had fucking Thanksgiving, man. Excuse me. That's our people, bro. Fuck. That's us, man.
Black Friday.
And yeah, and to boot. And Black Friday to boot. You know, you had Israel Thursday and then Judah Friday. You know?
That's Jeremiah 15:33.
Is it not, brother? You got that, bro?
Yep. Genesis 49 and verse 19, Gad a troop shall overcome him.
See, a troop, because Gad was in the northern America. He was warned with himself, the Chickasaw, the Lakota, the Sioux Nation, right? They're all fighting with each other, having eternal issues. The evil eye.
Cherokee.
Cherokee, exactly, right? The Blackfoot, You know, Seminole, hey, don't forget Reuben. Seminole was rocking shit. Seminole's one of the known native tribes that never bowed down. Seminole went so effing hard that during Andrew Jackson and Trail of Tears, there was like 1,000 of them that still wouldn't leave, still wouldn't settle land, and they were so stubborn that the American government had to write a bill and say, just call it truce, because they couldn't get all of us out the land. You can't tell me that ain't the nation of Israel, man. You can't tell me that. Shit, even the Brits said they're wild ones. They were jacking them up. Shit, Reuben was staging guerrilla tactics on them, man. You know, Gad said that one of our mighty men could take out a fleet of the white man's army. You know why? Because under the white man's army, Esau, he would put any Tom, Dick, and Harry on the line and push you forward. But like our law, Gad would only use brave warriors to go to war. And that's why they were overcoming them. And that's why Esau had to come with his blessing. And you want to know how Gad got the gun? Because the fucking Swedes gave it to him, just so he can get some land. At one point, the Edomite Swedes owned Delaware. Through what? The harbors. See? It was all the East Coast. When Esau was coming here, it was all the harbors. Why do you think when the Brits came, they came through the rivers of Florida? Because they're coming off the bank. They're coming from Europe, and they're heading where? West. They're heading west. So what's the first thing when you get west? The East Coast. That's why the 13 colonies were trickled in the East Coast. The mere fact that the 13 colonies are based off the East Coast proves the 12 tribes chart is based off the Western Hemisphere. Damn it.
Another thing this damn devil did was he'll use divide and conquer tactics, which he's always have done.
Yep.
And he would take the Judah, you know, Benjamin and Levi, who were in hardcore chattel slavery, and say, hey, I'll give you your freedom if you help us kill these natives.
Buffalo soldiers.
Yep. And they called them that Buffalo soldiers, man. You see?
And then you had Bob Marley, Buffalo Soldiers, fighting in a battle. Like, that's a good song. Brothers, listen to it, man. You know, you want to sit back and chill. Lil Yayan, you sit, you know? It's a good song, man. And speaking, since the Spirit's got us on history today, do you know the first cowboys were Jakes? You know? Look at Gad on a horse. You know? Look at Judah on a horse. Well, let's read this again.
Excuse me. Genesis 49 and 19. Gad and troops shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last.
Yeah, see? So the Gad, a troop shall overcome him. So they were being overcame by Esau and his army. And look, Judah became an American citizen in 1865. Gad didn't become an American citizen until 1924 under the Snyder Act. So he went to war starting in 1492. He didn't say that he didn't end war with you until the 1890s, until the 19th century. America's been going to war with the inhabitants of this land since the 19th century. And then you inhabitants celebrate and reverence the death of our people. You're thankful to be an inhabitant on stolen land. That's why you people are guilty by association, man. You are now a co-defendant in this court case of murder and war crimes. You know? When you look at the history, don't you know the government was paying the 49ers to scalp Gad's head? You know that? Scalping him, man. You know the Greeks were scalping us too? Yo, bro, he's been at war with us since the jump. Since 1492, he hasn't stopped war.
Since the second. Talking to Adam's woman.
Yep. So, read that again. Yeah, it's all good. Let's just read it again. Again, troops shall overcome him.
Back in Genesis 49 and 19, and it says, Gad and troops shall overcome him.
Yeah, hey, real quick, let's do a fun fact. Look up, you got your phone on you, brother? Can you look up mass murder Abraham Lincoln? Do you know that the President Abraham Lincoln holds the record for the biggest mass murder in American history to the Native Americans? He hung them, man. So when you talk about, he freed the slaves. Well, he hung the Native Americans, which they weren't even calling themselves Native American, you know? Because I myself was raised in a Native American household, which the people that we come from were called the Haudenosaunee, which mean people of the hills, right? And then, over 21 states in America are named after Gad. 21 states in America. are named after Gad. You happen to find it? Yeah, yep, you could read that, brother.
It says 300 Santee Sioux sentenced to hang in Minnesota. More than 300 Sioux are found guilty of raping and murdering Anglo settlers and are sentenced to hang.
They're not even Anglo-Saxons, man. You see? But that was by Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln did that, man. You see? So that's that troop overcoming us, okay? That was that troop. All the wars, the battle at Wounded Knee, you know? Hey, and Gad was rocking it too. Don't think for a second Gad and Reuben, hey, our people stayed fighting back, but prophecy is why Esau prevailed, okay? The sword is why Esau prevailed. It wasn't Esau, all right? Because Esau was out here with fucking, he had all type of diseases, eating fucking hardtack bread. Nigga had to make rice with syrup and shit, you know? Nigga had to have, what the hell was he eating? He was eating all types of mush mouth shit,
Pork
man.
belly, sour
Yeah,
belly.
pork belly soup, you know?
A month later, President Abraham Lincoln commuted all but 39 of the death sentences. One of the Native Americans was granted a last-minute reprieve, but the other 38 were hanged simultaneously on December 26th in a mass execution.
Oh, wow, so a day after Christmas, right? This is why Gad said, how can the white man preach Christianity when he pushes hell and ungodliness? Matter of fact, I'm gonna grab it. You read it again, brother?
It says, one of the Native Americans was granted a last-minute reprieve, but the other 38 were hanged simultaneously on December 26th in a mass execution witnessed by a large crowd of Minnesotans.
Yep. Now, real quick, now this is a spirit of someone that got me this book, right? They just got it, so I started looking through it. Like, I looked through it. It's like I said, I identify as Gad. And this book is called The Wisdom of the Native Americans, okay? And I just skimmed through it. And right here it says, this is a quote by a Mohawk by the name of Joseph Brant, or he's from the Niga tribe. And it says, our wise men are called fathers, and they truly sustain that character. Do you call yourselves Christians? Does then the religion of him who you call your Savior inspire your spirit and guide your practices? Surely not. So Gad was already on this nigga like, you're over here talking about Christianity, but look what you're doing, right? And it says, it is recorded of him that a bruised reed he never broke. Cease then to call yourselves Christians, lest you declare to the world your hypocrisy. Cease to call other nations savages when you are tenfold more the children of cruelty than they. You hear that? This is out of the words of Gadites, man. He said, you can't call other nations savages. You are tenfold in that. These are statements that Gad is making about this guy, man. You know? What you got?
Genesis.
Oh, no, we finished the troop?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yep, keep going.
And it says, but he shall overcome at the last. You know, and that's happening right now, you know, spiritually. You know, because Yahweh Shema Shai has raised up that exceeding great army, you know, and right here, bro, Gad, the helpful leg of the great tribe of Gad, you know.
Yep. And can you jump up to Habakkuk 2 and 6? More than heart could wish.
When you go into that word last in Genesis 49, the word there goes into hill. You know, and spiritually we're on Esau's hill. You know, just like it's written Second Ezra 6, it tells you that Jacob's hand took hold on Esau's hill. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
Habakkuk 2 and verse 5. Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home.
Neither keepeth at home, which is prophecy, right? Neither keepeth at home. Keep going.
Who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied.
He cannot be satisfied. Keep going.
But gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say?
A taunting proverb. Let me read a taunting proverb against him. This is, it's called the Betrayal of Land. Now this statement is made by a Creek chief named Doublehead, and it says, watch this, brothers, we are afraid if we part with any more of our land, the white people will not let us keep as much as will be sufficient to bury our dead.
Damn.
Do you hear that? So the Native Americans that did deals with you, they said if we do any more deals, we won't even have land to bury our dead. This is how this fucking man operates, man. You know? And I got another one for you. Watch this one. This is by Chief Seattle. He says,
From Seattle.
right. It says, we know that the white man does not understand our ways. One portion of the land is the same to him as the next. Remove not an ancient landmark, right? He's broken the everlasting covenant, Isaiah, you know. And it says, not that we get it, but these precepts should be coming to mind, when we're reading this. It says, one portion of the land is the same to him as the next, for he is a stranger who comes in the night and takes from the land whatever he needs. The earth is not his brother, but his enemy, and when he has conquered it, he moves on. Do you hear that, man? This is a taunting proverb, bro. So, Brakati al-Bashim al-Sai was a spirit. Out of nowhere, I just received this book, And I was like, well, let me look through it. And it's time and time again quotes of Gad rebuking you, man. Rebuking your fucking wicked ass, man. And guess what? There's more. There's more, but we got the scriptures, But there's more to be said of what this damn demon has done and how he's moved. And I keep hearing Sirach 10 from injuries and unrighteous decrees, man. Yeah, come on. Yeah.
Back in Habakkuk 2 and verse 6, and it says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him?
Is this not a taunting proverb? Damn, we go all. Well, remember he said, did you trade for it? Right. Did you buy it? It's not like that. Then what is it like, you fucking two-faced bastard? Oh, and that's another thing Gad said. Matter of fact, let me get that. He said, the white man, he's not a man of his word. He's dishonorable. And that's how a lot of Edomites got America, bro. Was through a lot of treachery and deceit. He wasn't just up in there slaying, he was killing, but a lot of times he did it through unrighteous decrees. And I'll have to get that for y'all. But you got it, bro.
And it says, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his.
Yeah, this land. He increased this land which was not his. Now it was prophecy, but this land is not his. He got it through wickedness. Keep going.
And it says, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay.
Yep, the debt.
And that's that debt.
You got it, go.
And that's one thing too. Babylon's in great debt. Here it is. He's constantly upon countries on sanctions, and terrorists and shit like that. But he's in great debt, man. And
trillions of dollars in debt.
Yeah.
And then you got Biden, who's trying to come back with his Build Back Better, basically as a bomb. But it's only going to put the country in further debt. It's only going to put more hell upon the people and cause inflation, which will then lead to hyperinflation.
Yeah. Well, I got a quick one. I just got this one. So remember, I said a troop shall overcome, but he shall overcome at the last. This is a quote by an Indian guide to Tom Wilson. It says, this was in 1882. White man's pictures all fade, but the Indian's memories last forever. See? So at the end of the day, his shameful spewing is going to fade away, but the nation of Israel will overcome, and at that forever, man. I'm looking for it right now, but you can keep reading. The brother's got one too.
You got it, bro.
This is Sirach 10 and 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Yeah, let me, we're going to read that a few times. Look at this. So this is chapter 11, the ways of the white man. These are quotes by the inhabitants that lived here before you. This is a taunting proverb, man. It says, many of the Edomites, it says white man's, many of the Edomites' ways are past our understanding. They put a great store upon writing. There is always paper. See? There's always paper. When he came over in 1607 to Jamestown, Virginia, he said, I declare this Jamestown under the order of the Charter of Britain. So it's like, what the fuck? What does the price tea in China got to do with me? So he came over to this land where they don't speak English, they don't know you, and you came with a piece of paper talking about this is mine now. What? What are you talking about? But this is what Gad's saying. It says, the white people must think that paper has some mysterious power to help them in the world. There it is, unrighteous decrees. His unrighteous decrees.
Well, it goes back to the birthright, you know, because what did Jacob do to Esau? He got him to write that shit down, you know.
And it says, words that are true sink deep into his heart where they remain. And it reads, he never forgets them. On the other hand, if the white man loses his paper, he is helpless.
And they got that saying, carved in stone, but the Lord gave us the commandments on stone.
Right.
You see? So there is power in writing, but he does it in wickedness.
Exactly.
You know? Actually,
I got a quick one. It says, just to add in, it says, for 30 years, they tried to entice us to sell our land to them. Finally, their soldiers took it by force. The troops shall overcome. And we have been driven away from our beautiful country. That is a taunting proverb, man, for your history. You know, I just wanted to add that in. You got it, bro.
This is Psalms 94 and 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frame in mischief by a law?
You got it.
It says, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frame in mischief by a law?
Yeah, and that's what he does. He frames mischief into law. See, he didn't just enslave us according to Deuteronomy 28 and 68. He enslaved us according to writings and articles that were put into motion by the Congress. This is why slavery is still legal under the 14th Amendment of involuntary servitude if you commit a crime. Now, if you commit a crime, which a crime means an infraction of God's laws, now he has the right to enslave you to involuntary servitude, where you have, even though it's involuntary, I can still enslave your ass. See? But that's his laws. That's his decrees that he framed through mischief, because he also created the Bill of Rights, where he said all men are equated equal, right? Meaning one man can't be exempt from another, like i.e. your government, police. But we know through wickedness that that's true. We're not all equated equal, because we're labeled as 3/5 of a human being, you see? And when he wrote that decree, he was still going to war with Gad, he was still fighting Reuben, and he still had Judah, Benjamin, Levi in slavery. This dude was a fucking menace, bro. Was that it, brother?
Yeah, that was
Okay, and you want to go back to Sirach? Read it again.
This Isaiah 10 and verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees.
Yep.
And that
Whoa. One more time. Read that again. That's a goodie.
Isaiah 10 and verse 1.
Well, real quick. I got one for you. This is the last one. So we're gonna read. I got an account of a taunting proverb of your unrighteous decrees. Okay, titled under the chapter, "The Ways of the White Man." Okay. So yeah, exactly. It says, listen to this, brothers. Here, for the first time, I touched the goose quill. Now, a quill is a writing instrument, right? And they would take a bird's feather, and then the stem of it, they would dip in ink, and they would write with it, right? It says, I touched the goose quill, which the quill goes back to the scriptures, because it's the ink. Remember the angel? He was holding the ink in Ezekiel, and he wrote the seal on our foreheads. Lord's will. It says, I touched the goose. This is what Gadite saying. I don't know what the fuck this is. Watch. He says, I touched the goose quill to the treaty, not knowing. That's fraud. If he makes you sign a contract without telling you the penalty.
abusive process.
Abusive process. You abuse process, framing your mischief. It says, not knowing, however, that by the act I consented to give away my village. So I didn't know what I was doing, you know? Because right here, if you go back, it says how strong liquor was used against him. So he would get Gad drunk, And Gad opened, he said, I like it. We like it. It's good. But he would use liquor to get, he would take advantage of you. You know, he'd roofie them. And it says, had that been explained to me, I should have opposed it. So if Esau explained to Gad, once you sign this, now this is my village, he said, I wouldn't have signed it. I didn't know what I was signing, right? He says, and I should have opposed it and never would have signed their treaty, as my recent conduct has clearly proven. What do we know of the manner of the laws and customs of the white people? They might buy our bodies for dissection, and we would touch the goose quill to confirm it without knowing what we were doing. This was the case with myself and my people in touching the goose quill the first time. So Esau is making them sign their life away, and they didn't even know it. Sorry. They didn't even know it, man. This is your history. So we're still holding that in Sirach. See? So the unrighteous decrees, frame his mischief, ties into how he got the land. Not only did he rape and murder, he lied and he cheated. He wrote lies and deception all the way to the top. And then he put himself in office and wrote laws so he could never leave. And now fast forward today, we're sitting here like, oh, well, I got a letter in the mail that says I got to pay, so I got to pay. Wrong. Wrong. Because you can use your rights as a Roman citizen against the Roman system. Okay? Let's read that again. Right, brother?
Yep.
You know, and that's going back to knowledge shall be increased. Not only are we getting knowledge in the Bible first and foremost, which we filter everything through, but now with that, we're finding out other rights that we have as citizens, and Esau has to abide by them.
And he's never going to tell you.
Nope.
You know?
He'll never tell you that. You know?
Back in Isaiah 10 and verse 1.
And then let me say this too. The only time what I would say express your constitutional right per se is on a level of financial, not a level of carnality, you know, because that's a whole nother, they got laws on that. But as far as you financially, there's certain holes in our bags that are actually, they shouldn't be there. That's you furthering your affliction, you know, and the Most High requires that which is past, and you're going to have to pay, and you're going to pay what you owe, and you're going to pay like you weigh. Bastard. Let's read this, brother. Hey, you, right now, you're in pre-trial, all right? You're in pre-trial. We got evidence against you, man. We got evidence against you right now, you know? See, we don't got to tell you you're a devil. We break it down how you're a devil, all through the Holy Spirit. It is not ye that speak, it's the Spirit of the Father which speaks in us. This Yahweh Shemel Shai cursing this place out. Cursing your ass right out to your face with your own doctrine.
Say Isaiah 10 and verse 1, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed.
Oh, which they write what? Grievousness. Isn't that grievous when you get a letter in the mail? You live by the laws, right? You living by the laws. You ain't breaking, you know, you ain't a menace. You ain't toting guns. But you could get a letter in the mail that says, oh, well, you failed to pay, and now there'll be a warrant for your arrest because you didn't obey. What? What the fuck? You got fucking Nino Browns running up and down the street with bald-headed niggas calling themselves gods, killing our people. But you could send me a letter that I'm in trouble? It's fucking grievous, man.
It's a curse. That's what they are. You know, because you don't understand that shit. Imagine if I sent a letter in Hebrew to the judge and a curse, they wouldn't understand it. You see? So it's the same thing that they're doing unto us.
Right.
You know? Then you read this shit, you start stressing out, you get anxiety. It's a fucking curse.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, all his great taxings. You know, you got
spelling bee.
Yep.
You know, words. You can't spell with words. You see?
Well, they call when you first go to school, it's what? Grammar school, and the word grammar means mumbo jumbo, incantation. All right, spells. So they teach you spells at a very young age, and then they make you pledge allegiance. You know. Oh, and proving that real quick is a fun fact. In 9/11, when George W. When he was at the school, they said the black woman. What does it say? Bird. What else? Plane. Building. Crash. You seen that video, right? Mm-hmm. Where he's sitting there, he's got the book upside down. Yeah. But they're saying spells, and these little kids are chanting what they're doing down so far the street. You know?
Yep.
It's all fucking witchcraft, man. It's all witchcraft. Let's read it again.
St. Isaiah.
And that's why, I'm sorry, brother, in college, they give you a degree, which degree means the lower. And then if you play the right cards, you might be a 3rd degree or a 4th degree Mason, you know? Then you gotta drink fucking blood out of Geronimo's skull. You sick bastards. America's sick, man. It's a satanic movie set, you know? We're at Satan's seat. And this is the regime of how they run their empire. This is the normal. This is how they've constructed rulership on the people. Oppress them, tax them, beat them, murder them, and then shut your mouth with you have the right to remain silent. Well, if I have the right to remain silent, what else rights do I have then? This is why they give you Miranda rights when they arrest you, because they don't want to tell you you have rights as an American that they break every day, which according to federal law, that's a lawsuit, you know? But you got class action lawsuits going on right now against America. Don't you know there's a class action lawsuit that's been brought to the United Nations against America for the slavery that they did to the so-called Negro, the atrocities, what they did to the Native Americans and to the rest of their people? There's actual legitimate paperwork.
His time is short.
His time is short that they're coming up. The legacy of America that you know and the heinous crimes that he's committed, they're going to soon have to answer for that. I'm sure you're familiar with slavery, right? Jim Crow, segregation. All those actions that he's done to us is actually prophesied that he has to answer for these same accounts. What you would call, in layman's terms, war crimes. Because me, you, I, him, we're all prisoners of war. Like they said, the POWs in World War II were POWs because we're prisoners at war. Because we're at war, which we're not fighting, it's a spiritual war, but who you know as the powers that be that rule, that are in the seats, legislation, judicial, all those men got into that power seat through war and destroying us. Because this land, if you didn't know, was once owned or ran by an in particular nation of people. Then he murdered them, raped them, lied, got them drunk, and made them write their names like he does now, write your name in blood. So they signed over this land, this lease, right?
He supplanted them.
He supplanted them, you know?
Because he was supplanted, he wants to supplant everyone
Yep.
else.
And then he so-called freed the black counterparts in 1865, but all he did was transition the power over you from the person to the state.
Yep.
So now we're all state property.
This is why you got a social security number, straw man. Your name is in all caps, your driver's license, your birth certificate, they own you.
Well, not only a driver's license, but a state driver's license. So you can have a driver's license in New York, but if you go down to Texas, you can get a ticket for that. They say, because I don't know what they do up there in the big city, but down here, because each state is its own providence. Each state has its own governor. Each state has its own prison. Each state has its own Supreme Court, county and mayor. You see? So each state is different. So depending on the state you're in is depending on the state they treat you. And each state we go to, they treat us like what? The same way they've been treating us. You know, which the Bible prophesies about that. Nothing but pain and anguish, kill, destroy. They shall not bemoan you, you know?
Back in Isaiah, right?
Yeah, read that from the top again.
Back in St. Isaiah 10 and verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees.
Right, woe to them that write laws that you have to live by. But these laws that you live by, like, is it bringing peace to earth? You know, you run a stop sign, they write you a ticket, and you got to pay $135. What did that do for society? You're getting money from me, revenue, but what is that doing for us? You know, there's potholes. Look at the public service of transportation. What is the state doing for the people in it? But he writes all these laws. Like, I'll give you a good one. Do you know that there's a term where there's no ignorance to the knowledge of a law? Can you look it up? You just look up ignorance to no law, which basically means just because you didn't know that was a law, he can still arrest you for it. And just because you're ignorant of it means you don't have an excuse to not be found guilty of it. Isn't that foul? Now, like California, do you know California has over 395 laws or regulations that you got to live by? And if you break one of them, they can lock you up. Now, New York has about almost 200,000. Can you name even 100 of them? Maybe even 10? You know, not really. But if you break any one of them, they'll beat you and lock your ass up. And then if you can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed to you. See? See how he does you? Did you find it?
I found it. You got it?
Oh, your brothers are good. Yeah, you got it.
These are the ones before it.
Yeah?
It says, ignorance of the law excuses not, and ignorance of law excuses no one.
See? Ignorance of the law excuses no one. Like, say you just came here and you didn't know that you had to stop at a stop sign. They could arrest you even though you didn't know. So, but you know that the Bible tells you there's laws of excuse? Like, we as a people, we're the Israelites. We're the children of Israel. That's right, brother, you too. We're the Israelites. And we have a law where if a brother didn't know that he wasn't supposed to do that, we don't kill him, we do a sacrifice. You know, and now we have a sacrifice who you know as Jesus, Yahweh Shai. That's our sacrifice to our ignorance. This is why Apostle Paul said the Most High winked at our ignorance. But here in America, he don't wink at your ignorance. He bangs a gavel and sentences you to death. Damn near. He has no mercy. And this is what he constructs in his laws, in his courtrooms, in his higher up seats. This is what he pushes on our people. So let's read that one more time.
Isaiah.
It's fucked up out here, right?
Yeah.
Hey, they didn't tell you hell is a cold world. We're in hell, brother.
Yeah, we Israelites. I know that.
Yep.
We are.
Yep, that's right,
I know
bro.
that for a fact.
Yep.
I'm trying to tell my black people that we Israelites. They say, no, I'm a nigga. I said, oh, you a nigga? Oh, so you taking it what the white man gave you?
Yeah.
You a nigga.
Yep.
I said, well, I ain't no nigga. Don't never say what up nigga to me.
Right.
Like, what up nigga? Who you talking to?
Right.
I'm not no nigga.
That's
I'm
right,
an
bro.
Israelite.
That's right.
I'm from the earth. And right there, I want to know what this picture means. This is the devil.
Sure, what you want? Yeah, yep. This is an actual man by the name of Cesare Borgia from the first crime family.
Yep, the son of six, Rodrigo, one of the Pope of Rome. That was his son.
Yep.
So y'all, 5% or 6% is what?
No, we Israelites, just like you,
Israelites,
brother.
right? Yeah, we Israelites.
That's it.
I'm trying to tell people in the hood, we Israelites. They know I'm a nigga.
Well, you know in the Bible that it's prophecy that not all of our people are going to be able to hear. They just can't. So
They think they niggas.
and you know what? Let them be filthy still. Because some of our people, the Bible prophesies 2/3 out of our people in America, they're just going to go down with the ship. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it's best that you know. And that's why, for this brother, can you get Psalms 1 and 1 for him? You got your scripts? Just get Psalms 1 and 1 for him. For you, and we'll go back to, we'll go with the spirit. But for you, brother, it's a blessing for you, the best of your ability, stray away from him. Because the times we're in, the Lord is about to start killing niggas. And he's going to use...
Right, niggas.
Yeah.
Not us.
No. He's going to kill them.
Niggas.
He has to, though.
They dying. You know how many niggas died last night?
How many?
3.
Oh, see? See?
Niggas.
Yeah.
Not Israelite.
No.
Niggas.
Yep.
Last
Gentile.
night.
Yep.
Yesterday was Thanksgiving, right?
The Friday, last year was Black Friday, the day before that.
Okay, well, 3 niggas died that night, too.
Yeah, Norton, Joseph. We be reading it.
Not Israelites. Niggas.
That's right, brother.
They want to call themselves niggas, you die like a nigga.
That's right, brother. That's right. Because not all Israel's Israel. So that's good that you know that. Read this for this brother.
This is Psalms 1 and verse 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly.
In the council of niggas. So
Niggas.
that's a blessing unto you that you don't identify as one and you don't want to be around them. And that's what happens when you start learning. You start realizing, even though I found out who we are, not all of our people are going to accept who we are. So that's up to you to embrace and accept it, because not all of our people are going to come into it because they're not being open to it.
Yeah.
You know?
Brothers in the hood think they niggas.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're not a nigga, man. You're an Israelite. They're like, ain't no Israelite. I'm a nigga.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yep.
I gotta get away from you then.
Yep.
I can't talk to you no more.
Good.
I can't hang with you.
Good.
I don't hang with niggas.
Nope. And that's a blessing. Read it one more time for him. That's a blessing unto you.
Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly,
Yep.
nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful.
See? So that's a blessing that you're not sitting with the counsel of the ungodly, walking with the sinners, doing as a sinner, doing as a nigga. We're in the future. Being a nigga is that's not prosperous.
No, I don't hang with niggas.
We can't. We're men. We're men. You know? Hey, being an 80s baby, 90s baby, that was back then. The Method Man, the Red Man, the Wu-Tang era, that shit's out now. You know, that whole nigga ghetto living. Everyone else is uplifting in life, but our people still want to become ghetto superstars. The ghetto's obsolete. They're going to mow it over through gentrification.
Look, they all kissing each other.
There you go.
They faggots.
Yeah.
You know why? Because they niggas.
Yep. Yep.
And the devil will prophesy and take over your brain.
Yep.
That's why we got zombies walking down the street right now like this.
Yep. Yep.
Oh yeah, trust me, bro. That's why I stopped.
Good, brother.
Because I
Good.
prophesied with it. You know what I mean?
Good, brother.
My name is Farrah.
Farrah, nice to meet you, brother. I'm Gabar. Nice to meet you, brother. Hey, well, we come out here every Saturday through the Lord's
Let me
will.
stay, man. Where can I buy one at?
What's
I
that?
forgot what they call it.
Garment or the poncho?
Yeah.
Well, this right here, this is our garment, which if you want, we can get Edris 1 for him. This is what we wore in our ancient days as Israelites, even as priests, ceremonial garments. And this is what you would call a mantle, which they call now a poncho. So this, you know, you can buy it online. You know, we brothers have made these.
That look good. That
You
look
know,
good.
hey, Tuwari, you know, Yahweh Shemel Shai. No, hold on, let me tell you. So do you know your God's name?
My God name is?
Yeah, the God of the Hebrew Israelites.
Let me see. All right, let me get my brain right, cause go. My God's name, Ishmael.
No, that's a nation that's a son of Abraham. Your God name is Yahweh. Yeah, the one they call God, the Most High. His name's Yahweh, and it's Yahweh. And the Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, his name's Yahweh Shai. So when you pray, you call Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. You call on him. You keep calling on him, because the days that are coming, it's gonna be mass judgment, and we need the Lord's protection. Remember what he did to the Egyptians when the death angel swept through. You see, that time's coming again.
When I was a kid, right, I used to ask my grandma, you a God-fearing whatever, but you got a white Jesus on your wall.
Yeah.
That's not my God.
Yep,
I
that's
was
right.
only like 8 years old.
Oh, hey,
I'm like, that's not my God.
that's your seal.
That's not my God. That's why I stopped, because I politic
Yeah.
with knowledge.
Yeah.
The knowledge is born.
Yeah.
But that's not my God.
That's right, brother.
That-
Good.
I'm not my God.
Yeah, that's your savior.
Hey, look, I'm all white.
Yeah.
That ain't my God.
They're good, brother. Good.
That is Shaitan.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Right.
Satan, Shaitan.
Shaitan.
Yeah, that's right.
I know.
That's right. Good,
Well,
brother.
I got to get down to
Hey.
the shelter.
No problem, brother. You be safe out here. May the
Man.
Lord bless you.
I love y'all, man.
Hey, we love you too, brother.
Yo, keep, yo, educate these people, man. They think they niggas.
Some are gonna die as niggas too. But at least we got that knowledge to understand, because when that time comes, this wisdom that we got, it'll keep us stable.
Yeah.
It's gonna keep us stable, because most people, they're not ready for the reality of the God.
Because the
it's gonna
white
bring.
man keep throwing them down, giving that fake shit.
Yeah,
So then they thinking, well, he called me a nigga, I'm a nigga.
yeah. Let me embrace it.
No.
And you know what? Real quick before you leave, because I know it's cold. You're a little older than us, and you agree, like with rap, when it comes to our people, it's never been on this level, like with the blunts and the tatted face and the drugs. It never was like that, right? Remember Big L's? Remember the KRS-Ones, the Nas's, even the Tupacs, Public Enemy, even Wu-Tang. But now look at the rap that they get. Look at our women.
It's the devil.
And thank you, and they're falling
Look, you got
victim.
rappers, females talking about, yeah, I suck a dick and swallow a Coke bottle.
See?
Who the fuck when I'm talking
And you
Cardi
know
B?
who set him up to do that? The serpent.
The devil.
Just like he
Well,
did
fed him
Eve,
to the tree and make him eat the apple.
as they say. Which apple represented his knowledge. Like he said, I'm eating right here.
No, God said don't touch that tree.
Right, the tree, but I'm saying as far as the apple, the fruit from it.
Yeah. And look, they was butt naked, walking around butt naked. And then Cain killed Abel. Come on now.
You know, Cain got changed. That's Satan. You know, Cain got changed into the color white. So the white man is the first murderer from the beginning.
Always.
There you go, brother.
Always.
There you go. Hey, it was good speaking to you, brother.
All right. God bless you, brother.
Yeah, you too, brother.
Bless you too.
You come back, man.
I want to say hamdulillah, but I don't know if that's profitable.
Well, we understand. We say shalom, which means peace.
Shalom.
Yeah, peace. That's our language. That's our tongue.
Yeah.
That's our tongue. So you on your way, brother. You have a good one,
Y'all
man.
make it happen, bro.
All right,
Don't
man.
be too cold out here now.
All right,
The
brother.
white man ain't gonna save you.
That's right.
We know.
That's right. Oh, okay. Hey, well, read that. Let me plug this in. We'll probably get a couple more, because with the weather, our phones actually aren't, they're not working as well. Where were you at? Marar, where were you at?
I had dropped Isaiah.
Oh, okay. Well, read Sirach real quick. We'll probably get a couple. Yes, Salakia brothers, but our phones are dying. It's a brick out. Hey, we in season, out of season. And I want to say this too on camera. You know, And then, see, that's the thing. Jake's not fully there, but are we gonna sit there and say, "Give me Genesis, show him, brother. Hey, you gotta cross your neck." Look, we're not out here to do that, okay? We're not out here to do that because the scriptures tell us that with wisdom, it's gentle. You know what I mean? Now, of course, if you're being a demon, that's a different thing. But if you're not being a demon, per se, the Spirit is gonna work with you. It's gonna give you certain things. Think about the male factor. He didn't have all the breakdowns. He just believed.
Right.
That man, what he said, and he had a heavy spirit on him. They niggas. That funded him because the Lord opened him up enough to know as an Israelite, I'm not supposed to act like a black person. And that speaks volumes because you have a lot of black people in the nation of Israel. Right or right, brothers?
Yeah.
I see a lot of black people. Thank you. I see a lot of evil in Israel, man. That man was more righteous than some of these teachers out here. And he didn't even know it all. And that's why our Lord said there'd be prostitutes that'll be delivered before you. And he was speaking about those wicked scribes and Pharisees. You know, may the Lord bless him. You heard me say I gotta go to the fucking shelter. Yeah, man. He said I gotta go to the fucking shelter. It's brick out, bro.
That's
Don't
right
worry.
in the corner.
Yeah. So you mean you can't tell me that man don't need a fucking drink? And he said something funny too. He said, hey, just know the white man gonna say he in a good spirit, bro. Hey, you knowing that Esau's the devil and a lot of Jakes are niggas, you on your way, bro. Your eyes are open, man. But we'll get a couple more. Our phones is fucking up.
Because they niggas.
Because they niggas. You got it, brother.
This is Sirach 10 and 8. Because of unrighteous dealings,
Yeah.
injuries.
Now that word injury goes into, I believe, unlawful violence. You know what I mean? Like he'll go to meet you, and then he's like, "Oh, do you have any tea over there?" Then you turn around, and he's like, you know, he fucking acts you to death. You know?
And riches got by deceit. The kingdom is translated from one people to another.
It said riches got by deceit. Watch the movie Zorro. We're talking about history, right? Manifest destiny. Because remember, Esau only landed on the East Coast. So how did he get to the West Coast? Oh, he said, "You East Coast? I'm for East Coast." How did Esau get to the West Coast? Through his manifest destiny. And how did he strike gold? Because he was taking that from Gad. They show you that movie, Blood, Bone, Tomahawk.
Yeah, Bone Tomahawk.
Bone Tomahawk, man. You know? So Esau was stealing gold over here too. Esau was pissing in the rivers that Gad drank that had gold in it. Did you know that the rivers in America used to have gold? Hey, Gad said Esau's so fucking money hungry that the only reason that he would blow his nose if he thought there was something valuable in it. Yo, Gad was cold with the word and how he was cutting Esau, man. You know? And it's the spirit, the spirit has got us going into the American history and the perception that it's outlaid on the tribes, man. And not a lot of history is brought out about the other slavery. Okay, there's a book, Google it, The Other Slavery. Because you can talk about slavery all day, but you never talk about the Northern Kingdom slavery. You can't talk about Judah first. You got, if you want to go chronologically, you know what I mean? You got to talk about Gad, man, and Reuben, and Issachar, and Ephraim, and Manasseh. It's effed up, bro. And then to this day, fast forward to today, we're freed, and a black man walked down the street, and he's got to go sleep in a shelter. Oh, and let me add, and then sometimes for you to sleep in that shelter, you got to have a fucking quota where you got to pass out Christian pamphlets. Remember? There was one guy, he came a couple years ago. He was saying how he had to go to the shelter, but he said, if I want a bed, I got to get rid of these pamphlets. And it was fucking Christian pamphlets, man.
He was a Hamite Jake. Yep.
Foul, bro. You got Jake all up and down these streets, jacked up, man. Jacked up, bro. You fucking, America is the biggest offense known to earth outside of the Greeks and the Romans. Because, you know, the Greeks, well, they did our temple. You know what I mean? But now being in America, Yahushua said, offenses will come, but woe to them that cause the offense, man. Damn. Let's read that.
Habakkuk 2 and verse 16. Thou art filled with shameful glory.
Yeah, all the glory, old glory, pledge of the, right? Oh, look, Lincoln Alliance Bank. What bank? Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln. So you got glory for this bank named after your president, but what was the shame that he got to get that glory? You know? Like my man Pac said, yeah, you made a killing, but you did it in a sleazy way. You got anything? Romans 9 and 21, dishonorable vessel. You're fucking dishonorable, bro. You're dishonorable, man. Let's read that again, please.
Habakkuk 2 and 16.
And it really is the spirit because the season, we just had so-called Thanksgiving, you know? Hey, Jake's tired of this place, man. Of course, you got your necessary evils amongst our people, but you got a lot of Israelites that they hear this word, the spirit's like clink, and they're like, yeah, man, it's fucked up out here. You know, because that's one thing, hey, that's one thing we can agree upon, right, Israel? That Esau's a damn devil, right? We can agree at least, well, damn, not even. Esau, the white man ain't Esau, it's Japheth. See, that's why we just need the small remnant, we need the elect seal, and we just gotta go home. We just gotta go home, man. We need Yahweh Shai. We need Yahweh Shai. We need Yahweh Shai to save us from Esau. We need Yahweh Shai to save us from ourselves, and we need Yahweh Shai to save us from the wicked Jakes, man. You know, and when I say ourselves, meaning our flesh. You know, this flesh is an enemy to us too. You read that just real quick.
This is Romans 9 and 21. Had not the potter power over the clay?
Yeah, the Most High is the potter. You know, like when you watch the movie Ghost, he's got the song with the Christian brothers. And they're doing the thing, the pottery, right? The vessel, and they can make that whatever they want. They can make it round, they can make it thin, they can make it however they want to make it. You see? And that's the Most High, because it says in Sirach, he fashioned man to liken him best. So the Lord fashioned Esau to liken him best according to his spirit, and his spirit ain't upright in him, man. How can something that's always crooked be made straight? He can't be made straight. And then the MLK tried saying that. All the things crooked, I'ma lay straight. You can't make Esau straight. His ass was set up and designed to be a fucking demon. All right? You create a program to be an antivirus. All it's gonna do is kill viruses. You create a program to be a virus. All it's gonna do is be a virus. There ain't no washing of the word when it comes to Esau. There ain't no baptism, ain't no magical scriptures. There ain't nothing that's going to change Esau from being an Edomite.
Hath not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor?
Now, Paul said this in the spirit, but in context, he was talking about Jacob and Esau, because if you go up, he mentions Jacob and Esau, and what was that one lump? What's my sister? Was it Rebecca? No, Abraham was Rebecca. Who was it? It was Rebecca. Yeah, Rebecca, one lump. She had the big belly, and two were in her womb. Two vessels, two nations. All right, two manner of people that were separated by thy bowels. You know, and through your bowels you produce offspring. So their bowels were separated, meaning they weren't of the same offspring. So one was Jacobites and Edomites, which Jacob became what? Israelites. So in her womb was Israelites and Edomites. And he made one to be a plain man dwelling in tents, meaning a righteous servant in the tabernacle of Yahweh. And he made another unto dishonor, who was the murderer from the beginning. So we're talking about the dishonorable vessel and his murdering tactics that he has yet done from the beginning and still doing to this day. To this day, man, you know, like my man, yeah, to this day, you know, was that it, brother? Okay, you read it one more time, please. Just
Romans 9 and 21, had not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor?
Yep. But now the honorable vessel is now identifying as a nigga. As the brother said, you know, as a complete nigga, man. And this proves that there ain't no free will. How we say make one under honor and dishonor, but you got free will? So even Esau can't control that he's the devil. Esau can't control that he looks like the white man. Remember, there's a video.
Found the devil.
Well, that's a good one. But there's a video of an Edomite kid crying. Like, remember, he was crying, bro. He was crying, man. You know, because they can't. Look at these people with these so-called Christmas trees on their roofs. You see them? Carrying, what's that? Nimrod? Whose is that? Tammuz? The rod, yeah. That's idol worship right there, man. Well, let's get a couple more, you know. Yeah, we're back.
More? Okay.
Yeah, that should be it.
Back in Habakkuk 2:16, there are filled with shameful glory.
Right, we've been going into all day about the glory that Americans live by. He's got the American flag, you know. You got your Independence Day, your Memorial Day, your Veterans Day. But all those are shameful because let a veteran get the mic. Let a downtrodden veteran that really, which you always bring that scripture out where you're supposed to, for the man, the soldier, pretty much, you know, they ain't taking care of him.
Right, you're supposed to be taken care of. Good.
Oh, and then you just had, the brother sent an article, you just had Esau remove the homeless encampment, and then the dude, I read it, he said it's really hard for us when they remove our property. Well, a lot of our property is our birth certificate and Social Security, but to get help, we need to show proof of identity through Social Security, but they threw it out. So now what do? He framed mischief by law, identifies me and the number, now he threw it out. Who the fuck am I now? You know, you got that movie with Jackie Chan, Who Am I? You know, so who are you now? Oh, your license is expired. Now you're just in the cracks of the matrix. You can't buy, you can't do this, so who are you now? See? It's unrighteous, man. America's a fucking death trap. America is a prison house. And each fucking state is a damn cell in a pod that you gotta live in, man. Each state has a warden, what you call governor, you know? But let's keep reading.
And it says, drink thou also.
So if you didn't know, all right, hey man, we fed up with the unrighteousness of America, all right? The Lord has put a spirit on us to wake us up of the unrighteous, tyrannical nation that we have to stand on now through his bloodshed and inequity, you know? It's fucked up, man. And you got people out here starting to see it. But now Esau's got to see it too, you know? The curse is getting upon him. Now Esau's getting jacked up through child support, you know, in the court systems, you see? So people are feeling the pressure is being applied to the inhabitants. Because once you had that golden cup, you wasn't in trouble as other men, okay? The elites, they ain't in trouble as other men. But you average everyday Egyptians, you're gonna start feeling the pain. You used to love being a bootlicker until that boot was on your back. Because that's what Esau's about to do. He's about to put the boot of the pressure of America's system on your back as a citizen. You see? Under the orders of Dr. This and Surgeon that, you know? But that's good for you. Because woe to you that uphold Egypt, you know? You've been seeing the unrighteousness that's been done to us as a nation of people. History has told you time and time again. His own movies tell you. But you sit around and want to dance and prance and think everything's okay, you know? Shut up and dance with me. Well, now you guys got to shut up with a mask and put your fucking arm out and next your hand. That's what you people got, you know? That's what you people got, wanted to uphold the American dream that's always been constructed to be our nightmare. Now that's what you got for pledging your allegiance. Pledging your allegiance to Satan, man. Because under Satan's authority, you people are fucking demons. All you are dishonorable vessels, man. America turned your ass into a dishonorable vessel. A fucking, a full-blown Muslim could come here and damn near 2 weeks later, this nigga's eating pork with a shaved face at Denny's, man. You know? But then they tell you, according to the rights, you have freedom of religion. But I bet you can't go to a Trump rally and yell Allah Akbar. Esau loses fucking... There's videos out on it. You know? Read that.
And it says, drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered.
Yeah, let thy foreskin be uncovered. Woe to you that hide deep your counsel. Okay? Your secret parts are being uncovered. Your contracts are being uncovered. All right? Your web of lies is diminishing. Now you just got to come straight with it. Now you got Santa coming out with a boyfriend. You seen that? Yep. Now Santa's got a boyfriend. You know? He's coming straight with his wickedness now. You see? But the wickedness has always been talked about. But you called it conspiracies. Well, now it's no longer a conspiracy. I hope y'all ain't celebrating Christmas. You know Santa's got a boyfriend now? That's what America gives you, man. That's what America gives you. A bunch of Moeshas, man. You see?
The whole Christmas tree is a goddamn rod.
It's a rod.
Then you put Christmas
balls
on there.
You know?
You put a pentagram at the top.
Yep. With a white angel.
Yep. Then there's elves, Santa's little helpers.
Yep. Elves and Tinkerbells. Those are all little demons, man. so-called tooth fairy. See, it's now being exposed for what it is. It's not just Halloween. It's a fucking ritual, all right? It's not just Christmas. It's a satanic ritual, okay? All of it's coming out in the forefront, so now he's saying it blatantly, you know? Now he's speaking blatantly, which someone would say that's miscellaneous questions. No, he's asking you direct, but you're so used to the image that it sounds like it's miscellaneous, but he's just asking you directly, you know? Like I give you a good example, to be a police officer, not only do you have to have a written letter, but you have to pass a psychological test. Now the psychological test is called an acronym MMPI, which means Minnesota Multi-Placeted Psychological Inventory, like something like that. And bro, the shit he'll ask you is, do you ever feel like things are crawling on your body? Yes, bro. This is the shit. And guess what? He asked you over 450 questions that you got to answer, and then they determine if you're qualified to be a police officer. Because if they determine you're too smart, he's overqualified.
Oh shit.
You see? So it's witchcraft. If you read the questions, he asks you, do you find your same sex attractive? Why, as a police officer, would you ask me that? You know, the things they ask you is crazy, bro. You see? But this is Esau coming direct. He's coming with his wickedness directly at you, man. Now it's all hitting you all direct. 666 everywhere now. Because like the brother said earlier, he's got a short time. So he can't keep giving you little crumbs, you know? He's got to start giving you fucking loaves, man. You got to start biting that bullet in its hole. You know, you can't take little nibbles. You got to take the whole shot now.
And it says, the cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee.
Yeah, the cup of the right hand. We read all the history. We ain't even go into the details of the murders, the raping, the thieving, the robbing, the lying, the killing, lynching, and extortion, and mutilation, and castration. Fuck, man, we ain't going to all that. We ain't going to all that. But you gonna have to drink the cup of trembling. Jake was trembling. Strange fruit blowing in the summer breeze. You know, you shall flee. You know what I mean? Remember it says one of you, the crinkling of the leaves.
Shaking leaves shall they're gonna flee.
See?
Because of what? Fear.
Yep. Now that's coming upon you. You know? Now that's coming upon you in a big way, man.
Chase road.
The chase road. Which I'm not saying I believe with the narrative, but that whole parade, hey, they was fucking in fright, bro. The parade when they got hit. Yo, when you see when some major happens to Esau outside the Cowboys or Patriots losing, this nigga loses. They really are dedicated to this land, bro, because they have nothing. Okay? They came over and became Americans. You see? So now all they know is an American and what American gives them. So if anything in that construct of ideology and mindset is broken and disturbed, they're fucked up, bro. Because this is their culture, you know? But right before their eyes, their culture is being decimated, you know? It's being distinguished. The flame of excellence of Esau is being put out with the flame of prophecy being poured on, man. Shall there not be fire? Shall there not send flames on you? All right? Let's keep going.
And it says, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory.
Yeah, they did a national no-eat day for Thanksgiving, you know? No justice, no peace. Now the big thing is all the spotlights on the police. And a lot of those police are getting tired of taking the backlash for what the American system has trained them to do. The American system trained them to be that way. The American system trained them to lie, to abuse authority, you know, abuse your ignorance to your rights as a citizen. You see? So they're getting sick of that. And what's that doing? That's diminishing morale. The morale in America is at an all-time low. The acceptance of the American president is at an all-time low. So with Miss Kamala, you didn't do it. Remember she said, we did it, Joe. Yeah, what you did, you brought in the end, man. Because I was meditating on it. Joe is short for Joseph, right? And Joseph means he will add. Well, all Biden did was add to the problems that already were in America. All he did was add more problems, right? They signed his ass in office. They pulled his fucking puppeteer string And he just,
Yep.
they just kept flicking pages.
As soon as he got in office. Yep.
In his sleep, his ass was writing shit, man.
That was it.
That was it?
That was it.
Shit, are you brothers good?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, well, you know, Lord's will, you brothers and few sisters, you're edified and moved through the Spirit as we were. And we just want to say, call Allah, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. We'd like to say double honors to our elders and apostles at Great Millstone that do well. And peace and salutations to the Lord's elect and the Lord's elect alone. With that being said, shalom.
Shalom.